I just couldn't think of a better way to sum up May the 4th weekend, to be quite honest with you. That was literally me.
Short and sweet. Love it.
That was just me. On Monday morning. That was me.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are very sorry for the delay. Technical difficulties be damned, but we are here tonight to recap what were quite an eventful May the 4th weekend. First and foremost, apologies if the audio is a little bit off. We're experiencing, at least on our end, a little bit of delay and feedback and echo and all that sort of stuff. So if the audio is unbearable for you guys as well, we do apologise. We don't know what's going on. But like I said, we are here tonight to talk about everything that went down over May the 4th weekend. We've got Hasbro reveals to talk about. We've got con recaps. We've got Andor to discuss. It's been a heavy week. It's been a very heavy and emotional week. So, as always, joined by Daniel East 1000, RoboQuiff Collects, and returning to Toy Talk and Live Chat is the man behind the Star Wars Fan Fun Day, Neil Livesey, Netflix 3000. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Hello. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for inviting me back.
No worries. It's a pleasure to have you. We couldn't not have you, to be honest, because you're one half of the reason why May the 4th weekend was what it was, because Star Wars Fan Fun Day. What a absolutely fantastic event, as always. Really keen to dive into it because it was James's very first Star Wars Fan Fun Day. So I'm keen to get the discourse and to find out what James thought, how everything went for you, Nez. Take it away. The floor's yours, gents. James, what did you think?
Yeah, it was brilliant, man. After the chaos of Liverpool on the Saturday, it was exactly what the doctor ordered. A lovely laid-back event. People that had all the time in the world for you. And, actual Star Wars toys. Hope you're fucking listening, Liverpool Comic Con. And some good food as well. I mean, it's brilliant.
I was very jealous of that pizza, mate. I'm not going to lie.
It was all good, man. Oh, it's like can't fault it whatsoever.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's always a great time.
Thank you, mate. I have to say, it was probably my favourite one. It was the 17th year, not the 17th show, because obviously there were 2 years where we couldn't do one because of COVID. But out of the 15 shows, I think it was probably my favourite. We were down on numbers at the dinner the night before. Some people had put Celebration Japan at the beginning of their holiday, where I put it at the end of mine so that I could get back to work on the fun day. So there were some people still in Japan. There were some people who went to the Liverpool after party. And there were some people who messaged me and said, look, I can't get there this year, blah, blah, blah. Because there are quite a few regulars at the dinner. So we were about 15, 20 people down at the dinner. But it was a really relaxed evening. No problems, nothing went wrong. A great set of guests, I think that helps.
Yeah.
And we had a great evening. Now, I had spoke to you, Steve, in the run-up to the Fan Fun Day, and said, I'm concerned about ticket sales because Liverpool had such an incredible guest list. We are a small charity event. We can't pay the fees that people like Rosario Dawson or Hayden Christensen charge. But thankfully, as we were just saying before we came on air, that numbers were fine. They were actually up on last year. Pre-sales were about 40. down, something like that, 35, 40 down on the previous year. But on the day sales, we're well up on last year. So overall, numbers were up, which is great because, we want to carry on doing the event. And obviously we need the numbers through the door to pay the bills and everything. And again, on that day, on the day of the actual event itself, very few problems and minor ones at that. So I was able to relax, knowing that people were coming through the door, the bills were going to get paid, etc. And that we weren't rushing around putting fires out or whatever. We me and Dunny were actually able to enjoy the event ourselves, and for that reason, I think it was one of my favourites.
Yeah. I noticed when we were walking around the floor and stuff like that, you did see the year before when me and Dan came, you seemed rushed off your feet. You were like, it's been a pleasure to see you, pal, but I've got to be over here. Like
you always had someone saying, we need you on deck.
Whereas you seemed a lot more chilled out this year, and I think you even got an opportunity to just enjoy it that little bit more. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, mate, it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, like, just speaking on our behalf, like, it was so good for us as a trio to enjoy it for the first time, because we've been doing these shows for a couple of years now, and we've always said, to get together for an event like this has always been up there on a little live stream bucket list for us. And so, yeah, it was fab. It was really, really good. And with everything about Star Wars Fan Fun Day in mind, we're going to throw it to one of our usual segments. We'll throw it to recent pickups, because the three of us came away with a few decent little bits from Fan Fun Day. So let's get into it. So yeah, like I said, there were a fair few pickups, not just from Fan Fun Day, but from Liverpool Comic Con as well, the aforementioned event. So let's just dive into it all, and we'll go around the table. James, do you want to kick things off, mate? What did you pick up from? We'll start with Fan Fun Day first, with it being the May the 4th event and being on brand. What did you get?
So you'll have to excuse me. It's still rolled up because it's got some distance to do yet, but. The two guys from Andor that were there, we've got Robert Ems and we've got Brian Barvel. So I've got one down there, and you might it's a very glossy poster, so just bear with me. Can you see it there in the corner? Let me tell you, talking to Brian, that seemed like it was 10 minutes of my time. It was apparently about half an hour I was stood talking to the bloke.
He was stood there watching you eating popcorn.
Honestly,
what's he talking about?
Out of all the events that I've done and all the different guests I've met over the years, he's got to be one of the nicest blokes I've had the pleasure of meeting. A genuine fan, genuinely pleased to see you. Not a one-sided conversation, which I fear is a trap that, is present with a lot of guests at big shows because, quotas and all that business.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got a book like that thick of stories that he can tell you, and just a few of those made the way over to me, and we were chewing the fat about all sorts of stuff, what it was like when he was filming his episodes of Andor barefoot for the majority of the time, things like that. A few things about Kathleen Kennedy were mentioned.
Don't engage. Engage. Don't get
a
that
lot of stuff about the guys that are making some of the shows now, like Dave and John, and all the work they are doing. And it was just so patient and but when you know when you're just having a chat with someone, you think, oh yeah, we're wrapping up towards the end of the conversation, and then a little spark would go off, and he'd think of something else, and we'd be right down another street with a different line of conversation. Honestly, it was brilliant. But it was a bit annoyed that they never did a poster of Jembok. He said, "Oh, this is like the fourth one of these I've seen today." I'm like, "Where's my poster? Where's my poster?" Got out of his seat and come round the table at the front and shook my hand, spoke to me. Honestly, I mean, when I'd finished the chat with him, seeing you guys afterwards and the reaction that were on your faces sort of told me, like, it basically told me what my face was doing, and like it was just amazing. Not to downplay Robert Ems at all, he was really nice and polite, but the conversation was a little more brief with him. He was the first guest I met of the day, and I feel like the first guest you always meet's a little, you sort of get rid of those initial nerves of going up to someone and speaking to them. But he was really nice to talk to, nevertheless. And
just to add to that as well, I'd assume he's trying to keep spoilers locked tight.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
can't blame him.
As we found out this week.
I was just about to say, I'd heard a couple of tales from the dinner prior, and some of the guys, because I think Doug was sat at Robert's table the night before, and he said, "Come on, guy, like you've got to tell us what happens. How does it end for you?" He's like, "Well, I know how the series ends, and I know he said, I know how it ends for my character, but how the series ends, I couldn't possibly tell you." And then we found out, and it was because as Andrew's just popped into the chat, hi guys, hope I haven't missed the Ando chat. No, we're not there yet. I think that's going to take up the proportion of this stream. To be fair, it's bloody hell, how we're gone, but. Yeah, what else did you get from
for Fan Fun Day? I think that was the majority. I came away with one of those nice Revenge of the Sith posters that were being given away for free, which was very generous. Loads of cool stuff on display, and I did ponder over quite a lot of figure related stuff. But I'm an impatient guy that normally buys everything at full price and lives to regret it, which I did very much so that day. And then you come home and you look at your shelf, and there was that booth that we were all spending a lot of time around with Black Series, had that big loose tub.
Oh yeah.
Looking at my shelf thinking, could do with another one of them. Yeah. Could do with another one of them. If only I'd just been somewhere where they were cheap, loose, and readily available.
It was that Arc Trooper Jesse for me. I was like, I already have it, but
well, he had a Death Trooper Specialist, and I've only got one of them because only one came in that 3-pack for Rogue One, and I've always felt like I want one either side of Krennic. Looking at the shelf, I thought, bollocks, should have bought that, but
you've got the well. We can talk about that when we get to the Hasbro.
Honestly, though, Naz, a brilliant event. I said to these guys once we got home and had a sit down, and I popped them a message. I said, after being at Star Wars Celebration in 2023 and not going to Japan, it very much felt like coming home. Like you're surrounded by the culture of Star Wars, and everybody is there for the same reason, and you can smell it in the air, if you will. Brilliant. I can't wait for next year, honestly.
Thank you very much. I think you've hit on one of the important things that we try to keep in the Fan Fun Day, and that is that intimate feel. And if you come to get autographs at the Fan Fun Day, you're not going to be queuing for hours like you are at Celebration, maybe. But you do need to be prepared to queue for a little while because, as you say, the guests give you a little bit more time than they would at these bigger shows.
But at the same time, you don't feel like you're queuing because you go up to somebody's table and you see that they're having a conversation with someone and you think, oh, it's all right, I'll just pop back later. No one tends to hover. Do you know what I mean? Like it's so much more personal.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big appeals to me. I mean, I said to these guys, like, because we'd sort of made the arrangements to do Liverpool Comic Con, and even though it was the same weekend Fan Fun Day, I mean, this isn't to disparage Liverpool by any stretch, but I was a bit nervous because I was like, these bigger cons, they petrify the life out of me because I just feel like they're not, you're going to be ushered through like cattle. There's not that personal feel. I don't know. There's the anxiety level was way higher for that one, whereas I knew exactly what to expect from coming on the Sunday and on the Monday, should I say? And yeah, it was just it's
can confirm
different levels.
Can confirm in terms of Liverpool Comic Con when you've got like 3 guests pre-booked and you're looking at one of them and you're like, fantastic. Great timing, but I'm sure we'll talk more about that in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, do you want to do a lap of the table of Fan Fun Day Hall and then go on to Liverpool? Because I might
be a
talk
shout
for a little while. So
might be a shout. Dan, what did you get from Fan Fun Day, mate? What were your pickups?
I got quite a bit from both events. So if you want to see my full haul with me actually showing the stuff, I've got a video on my YouTube channel where you can see all that. But just a selection, just a few little bits that I got from Star Wars Fan Fun Day. The obligatory exclusive by my good friend Nick, who's of Cheesecake Customs and Nema Studios. Really lovely guy and also an incredible artist. This is a custom-made Commander Cody hologram figure for the event, and these are awesome. And they all did all the proceeds go to charity?
Yes.
Correct in saying that? Yeah. So I got number 12 out of 30 because 212 made sense. And yeah, was spending ages at the table hunting the 12th one. Where is it? Managed to find it. And yeah, so that was one of the bits I got. I also got a couple of other things from Cheesecake Customs and Nema Studios. Again, I talk a bit about it on my YouTube channel. Really lovely guy. Got some awesome stuff. Well worth checking out. In terms of modern figures, this was a bit of a grail for me because I've been trying to hunt for it for a while. But I got the First Order Galaxy's Edge 3-pack with General Hux without his hat on, and all the other guys. I was mainly bothered about Hux. This was well worth the £60 I spent on it, and I was a very happy boy. Now, along with autographs and stuff, I did get Rob M's autograph and Andy Seacombe, who signed a Phantom Menace Episode 1 Watto figure for me, and that was lovely, guys.
And he did the voice.
He did the voice as well, and I was like, oh, I should have asked him if he could have done me an intro stint for my channel, but I'll ask maybe another time when I'm a bit braver.
Little Danny! Little Danny!
And my pleasure. He is so lovely. Yeah. So that's a bit, that's a tidbit out of my haul. If you want to see the complete thing, go to my channel. Come on. Let's get some clicks.
Link in the description below.
Link in the description down there somewhere.
Nez, being the organizer, I'm guessing you didn't get much chance to go around and pick up bits and pieces from the stalls, but I'm assuming there had to be some odds and ends you picked up, surely.
Well, Dan's just stolen my thunder because I was going to talk
sorry.
about that thing. I, as you might expect, I got an 8x10 autograph of all the guests, and I got my Andor poster signed. And of course I picked up one of those. But to top trump you, this is number 1.
Oh,
Hooray.
I was wondering where that one had gone.
First dibs.
And the only other toy I bought was I'm an army builder when it comes to vintage toys, so I bought a vintage Stormtrooper, and that was it for toys for me. But I did get a few things from Japan, which I'll talk about when you talk about Liverpool, because I didn't get anything from that because I didn't go. I was busy setting up for the Fan Fun Day.
Yeah, I mean that's a good little segue, to be fair, because we've got Liverpool Comic Con to talk about, but then obviously it's not just Liverpool Comic Con and Star Wars Fan Fun Day that's taken place since we last streamed. We've got Celebration to talk about, and Nez, you were there as well, so we'll definitely touch on that and your experiences from that event. Star Wars Fan Fun Day wise, I like you, Nez. I came away very, very light-handed, but the one and only thing I wanted to get while I was there, and it's purely based on those recent episodes of Andor. As soon as I realised, I was like, bloody hell, I forgot he was going. Had to get a Robert M's autograph. Had to be done. Lonnie Young, we hardly knew you, mate. Bloody hell. What an integral part of the entire story this chap played. And yeah, just had to meet him. And like you were saying, James, the conversation was brief, but very, very good. It was a pleasure to meet him. And yeah, this is pride of place in the collection now. What a shot as well. This is my first 8x10, oddly enough. So yeah,
wow, really?
Yeah. I usually go for 6x4s because I'm an idiot, and I've not got a lot of space.
There is that, mate. Yeah,
but had to be done, and Hasbro haven't made a figure of him yet. So until that happens,
Brandon, if you're in the comments somewhere, mate.
That's it. There we go. And yeah, the other thing that I picked up that I don't have to hand because I've hung it from my Power of the Force display, but it's the Expanded Universe Cloud Car from Power of the Force. Been on the hunt for that for the longest time, and finally managed to track one down there. And I've got that suspended from my Power of the Force 2 display. So yeah, I don't have it to hand, unfortunately. But yeah, it was just the event. I mean, I said to you, Nez, beforehand, said to you guys, like, it's just a bloody fun day out. And that was the main thing. I wasn't interested in picking up figures. I wasn't interested in picking things up. I just wanted to experience it, have a good day out, enjoy it with friends. And that's exactly what I did. And I couldn't have asked for anything better. It was a phenomenal, phenomenal day out.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Always do. So that does bring us round to Liverpool. So we'll dive into that. James, what did you... well, you've got some stories. You've got some pickups. You've got some anecdotes for us.
Well, in great typical James fashion, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the autograph that I've left on the bloody wall over there. So I met Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal Kestis in the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor video games. And it started the convention a little rocky for me because he was 20 minutes late. And whilst we were stood in line waiting for him to turn up, a lot of people were already seeing Amanus Fonde and getting, autographs with him. And I'm like, this is great. I'm having a great time here. Where's he gone? And then we find out he's done something to his hand. I think he broke his hand. I don't know what. He made a joke. He did it fighting off Liverpool supporters the night before, which was quite funny. But unfortunately, this meant he wasn't doing any personalizations, which when I get autographs, that's a big thing for me. I'm not a reseller. I don't care. Anybody can put the name to a piece of paper, but if it means something to me, then that's where I'm going to remember for the rest of my days. Not,
100%.
Not just like the collectability of it. So it does just have his autograph on, but I think it was lovely to talk to. But like I say, I probably made less of an effort because I was feeling my way around, talking to people. I'm a bit of a social recluse, so I have to muster up the courage to have conversations with these people that I don't know.
You do a damn sight better job at it than I do, mate. Bloody hell, I came away from half of my conversations thinking, why didn't I speak more?
But no, it was lovely. I've got a nice print for anybody interested. It's on my Instagram somewhere.
Brian Bovel would probably argue that point, pal.
Well, at that point, I'd had a day and a little bit to warm up. But he's got that personality where he'll draw that out of you, strangely.
Yeah, that's what you want, though, isn't it?
So I came away. I was happy with that, and then I saw somebody else come away with one of their autographs, and he put Cal Kestis under that one. So I was like, no personalization, no personalizations or anything other than his signature is what the staff were saying. But maybe I should have asked, really, asked the man in question. But no, cracking guy. Again, I think he was probably limited on what he could talk about because of spoilers. I actually made the joke to him that. Because I said, I'd love to see Cal Kestis crossover into live action or maybe into animation someday, just to, weave him into the universe a touch more, as much as I like the games. And they said, obviously, you can't talk about anything like that, but it'd be cool. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. The Lucasfilm sniper's up in the rafters, got his target set on you. He thought that was funny, so it's good memories. And then I think at this point, you guys had shown up. You were in the queue for Emily Swallow. And then I jumped in Amonis Fondi's queue for Ahsoka, the guy that plays Ezra. I had a lovely chat with him, good 10 minutes of his time talking about the show, the fact that, grew up with Clone Wars and then into Rebels. So to see somebody so perfectly cast as that character, who's very much an embodiment, who very much embodies it in heart and soul, was fantastic. So I came away with this lovely autograph. Thank you, Reflection. But he asked me, he said, so what do you want signing on this? And a big grin come on my face because I'd had this idea in the queue. So can you write to James, sign it, put Ezra Bridger, and then can you kindly write me the quote, I knew I could count on you? Because I feel like that's something very important to the character and his relationship with Sabine. So it's no nice little standout piece. And, I look at this and I think of the lovely conversation that we had and how kind he was.
Odd that he's trying Ezra Bridger. He should have put Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, that's true. I think some people did actually ask for that as well, which I love. I love that he plays the character in real life to that extent because it's all I ever see on his social media. So
that's what I loved when we went to the Rosario and Emin panel. And he unzipped the jacket and he'd got a Jabba the Hutt t-shirt on. I was like, this guy gets it. This guy knows.
He knows.
Wholesome.
It was the pin he had as well. When he was walking past us to go into the queue for like signings, I'm sure he had a Jabba the Hutt pin on his bag.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
yeah.
Man gets it.
The fulcrum patch on his shoulder as well. Yeah. Living it.
Brandishing that lovely Ahsoka crew jacket as well.
Oh, yeah. So good.
The main reason I wanted to do Liverpool was the Ahsoka cast, specifically Rosario. I think you and me, Dan, we were twitching a little bit because we were stressing of how long we were going to be, queuing, how busy it was going to be, and
I'm panicking now.
My idea was let's get straight in, let's do Rosario's autograph first and get it out of the way. Lovely. No schedules were published in advance for autographs, so we get there, look at the table, there's a A4 printout, first autograph session, 2:30 in the afternoon, for 45 minutes before she had to run and do a panel. I thought that's some great fucking organisation that is, guys, thanks for that. I think about 1 o'clock we were walking back through that hall and I just said to Dan, I'm just getting on the loop what it's like. Yeah, maybe so, mate.
Yeah,
because I was stressing about people. Everybody's in the same boat. There's a lot of people there to meet her and to do what we want to do. And I thought, well, if somebody starts lining up, people are going to cotton onto that. It's going to get out of hand very fast. We walked over there. I think there was a group of people sat down, and it said on the board, no queuing until 2 o'clock. I thought, bugger that, I'm standing here, no one's moving me. I thought, let's just stay here and see what happens. And within 10 minutes, there was about 100 people behind us.
and at that point, I need a wee!
I've not prepped the image. What a knob.
Yeah, I sent an image to Steve, and literally the length of the arena area was just top to bottom with people in this unofficial queue that we'd somehow started, to the point where one of the guys had to come up and say, right, you're going to have to get these guys through the railings and start processing tickets because nobody can move
Jeez.
Can you remember what he said before that, though, when he was flicking through the list of, like, how many people were getting autographs? And you might have missed that.
Not specifically, mate. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember.
Jump in by all means. We'll talk
Yeah.
about this one together because
So this
that's
is like
how
a
we
shared,
roll.
yeah, this is a shared experience. So James can show his autograph. I can't show mine because it's up on my wall now. But while we were waiting, obviously queue's growing. The guy who's like looking at the list, ready to organise it, he's like, "Fucking hell!" Like pretty much, literally says that. And he's like, "This is the most I've ever seen for a sort of standard signing at Liverpool."
That's to me.
And
That's an unreal categorization. A standard guest. It's fucking a snooker, man. What's wrong with you?
And I literally, that's at the point when I said to him, how do you think they're going to work it? Are they going to let Diamond pass through completely, or will there be a divide? And he says, I honestly can't really tell you, but I'd imagine Diamond first. So I was sat there like, I really need a wee. I need a wee. So, yeah, like James said, they usher us through, and we got talking to a really cool guy. And I've got his name. James, you continue.
Yeah, so this nice guy that Dan's on about, he was getting a lightsaber signed, so we were just striking a few conversations about the different lightsaber companies, different guests that we've met. I did actually see his comment on your video, mate. When you put that up, I thought that was really cool because I remember you passed him one of your prints in the line. So he's actually gone away and, scanned his little QR code and found his channel. So it's the things that, come up in line when you're surrounded by people. It's great. But yeah, we're front of this line and we think, hopefully we'll get done within this 45 minutes. We see Rosario walk past and get in the booth ready because it was in a curtained booth, so no pictures could be taken and whatnot. Out comes one of the Monopoly staff. We're ready now. She was literally ready, send me and Dan through, maybe a few others. And then this obnoxious bloke starts yelling from down the diamond queue, "Oh, diamond first, I've got a plane to catch." Which cocked it all up, and they suddenly realised, oh yeah, maybe we should let nearly all the diamond people through first.
Just a little addition to that as well. He was literally pushing the people in front of him who were in Diamond Pass, and the lady looked very uncomfortable. And at that point, I was like, "Chill the fuck out." You're getting a piece of paper. Mate. You're getting a piece of paper squiggled. It's all right. We're all here for the same thing. Take a deep breath.
I did think he was like a good fair way back, and then suddenly he was fourth in the queue. So yeah. But there was. Speaking of obnoxious gentlemen, there was a Monopoly events guy that was he seemed to be in charge of this signing to a point, and he was adamant all the diamond staff were getting in. And he was very abrupt with how he was talking to people, but then suddenly something must have clicked in his head, and I think there was 15 minutes left before Rosario had to leave for something. And he said to his security guard, right, we'll do 3 diamond to 1 standard, and the security guard couldn't give a fuck, so he sent about 5 regular people in. So Dan's bladder was happy. I was very happy. I mean, I went up, said hello. For how much time you get with these guys, which isn't very much compared to the people at Fan Fun Day, they're very overwhelmed, and it's just a different environment, as we've said. But I still treasure those few minutes of conversation, and she seemed like she was putting a lot of effort into genuinely be invested in what you were communicating. So I was just saying, I grew up with the Clone Wars, so I feel like I've grown up with Ahsoka, and I'm happy with the legacy of the character and what you're doing with it. I can't wait for season 2. And she said that she just finished the first week of filming, and she's really happy with it so far. And she was taken back by how long I'd been in the game, so to speak. And then she signed me this lovely print. Which unfortunately, because of how bloody hot it was, has still got the post-it note residue up here somewhere, but you can't really see it because of the frame, thankfully. And they conned me out of an extra 40 quid for a character name, but because I'm, so autistically ridden, and my Ezra one said Ezra Bridger, and I've got all these Ahsoka posters to a degree. in frames like this above me display cases. And I want to get them all signed, so some element of uniformity would, please my brain, so to speak. So there we go. But it's really nice. I've seen examples of her autograph from Star Wars Celebration Japan, where she must have been considerably more rushed than she was at Liverpool, and it literally looked like a bit of a messy squiggle.
I'll cover that when we get to my bit about Japan.
Sweet. Very, very nice though. I shook her hand. What a grip that woman has got, let me tell you. Like, no wonder. I mean, who she's got to fight in the show, but it was a great experience. It was well worth it.
Well, if you've seen Sin City, you know she's from the streets. So,
yeah, man, everything I wanted it to be. I was telling my girlfriend Laura this morning because I missed out on getting tickets for Hayden at Liverpool due to indecision. Me being an idiot, I've just managed to get them for Manchester, and now the stress that I'm laden with is: have I built it up too much in my head, and is it going to be what I want it to be when the moment comes? But with Rosario, it really was, and all of those anxieties just went away as soon as I was there in front of her talking to her, and it was really good. And then we had enough time after that to then follow Steve's directions because he'd gone and found where they were doing the panel, and we got about 12 Instagram messages of directions to follow to find the auditorium. But we managed it. We got there, and the panel was mint as well.
It's a flipping labyrinth.
Great comedian. Mate.
The signal was shit, and the way to find where this bloody hall was unreal, and it was just one of them mad panics because we were sat. We managed to get queued up. I say queued up. We went and sat outside the hall where the panel was taking place just prior to the Aliens panel starting. So when that started, we were sat outside waiting for them to turn out and us to go in. And we had staff members coming out saying, "You can't sit there. We need to keep this floor clear." And I was like, there were me and Cara sat outside the door, and another couple sat next to us, and they were like, you can't sit here. You need to come back about 15 minutes prior to panel starting." And I was like, come on. Like, it's fine. And then eventually they all moved us down this flight of stairs, and we were like, oh shit, like if James and Dan come and I've told them where to go, they're not going to see us and they're going to panic and they're going to think that it was just a lot of messing around that wasn't necessary. So I can attest to your anxieties, James, because it was just very much like, you need to go this way, you need to go that way. It's like when we left, when you guys went to get Rosario's autograph, and we left to go and find where the panel was, and we came out of the main building and went into another one, and then the entrance that we used at the start of the day was then closed off because it was just like.
And it's also to get to that panel, there was like the queues for Cobra Kai, weren't there? Like,
yeah, you'd got all the other autograph panels as well, and it was like, which one's for which then? It was very like organisation.
You'd got the mess for Hayden's room as well. They'd got them sort of. I don't know what the correct term is. Like they'd snake, how they snake the line with the barriers, whatever you want to call that, a fucking paddock.
It felt like
I don't know. It's like a farmyard, honestly, because you're getting orders barked at you from one direction, and you're practically touching cloth with strangers you'd never met before. But it was a maze because you'd got like some sort of projector blinding everybody, screening schedules on the wall. I mean, it's a particular room for particular guests, and where the panels are happening. Don't think the people that are there need to see fucking schedules. I'm sure they'd appreciate their eyesight much more. For what I thought there was a fucking door there or something, or this was where the panel was, because there was a sea of people and you could just see what was being projected. I thought, is there a fucking stage behind those people? What's going on? Yeah. Is this it? And then you said, oh, it's like a little room down and picture round.
It was crazy.
Who designed this building? What the bloody hell's going on? I just think,
like, for everything that was so good about it, the fact that it was in 3 buildings was just unnecessary.
Yeah.
Especially considering like the space that they had for certain things, like where the ATST and the Endo bunker prop was, you'd got that basically like that entire arena, like literally an arena with floor space that was just like that could have easily been put into another room, and you wouldn't have had to you could have condensed this down into 2 buildings rather than opening it up to this many and making it so confusing for so many people.
Just second to that though, why not just have the panels in the big arena space?
Yeah,
because you had the seating,
where the seating was.
You had the seating capacity for it. So why have it snake through the queues? And it was so dumb. I can't even. It's like even the where they had all the signings, they're all separate in different rooms. Like, why not just have them in one area? Bar the big guests that obviously
were behind closed doors.
I don't know.
You'll notice I haven't commented very much because it's not my place to comment on someone else's show.
Yeah, you're the competition.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't see us as competition, but it just isn't right for me to comment on. They're just trying to organise a show.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so are we on a much smaller scale. So our job is a lot easier than theirs.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Shit rolls downhill, and no doubt everybody that was expressing stress was also, taking it from their higher up and so on.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, we're there as attendees and people who've got no idea how to run an event. So it's very, very easy for us to pass comment and say, well, this should have been done this way and that should have been done that way. But I dare say if we were put in that position, we'd have been like, I don't know what to do. I want to go home. Which is what I was like by the end of the day. So it's all good.
I don't know Andy Coote that well. I do know him. I have met him a few times. But what I do think is that if you put any of this in writing to him, in whatever, an email or an Instagram message or whatever. I know he does listen to feedback because some of his early shows, like For the Love of the Force, there were a lot of lessons to be learned. I'll just put it like that. And he did put a statement out afterwards saying, thanks for all the feedback. I've read every single one. And we will endeavour to improve on all of these things. And I don't go to Monopoly shows because I don't like the big shows. The only big show I'll go to is Celebration. But and listening to people who do go, they said he did make a lot of the improvements that he promised.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will say this:
it's worth sending him a message or whatever.
You know what? I mean, for all the grief we're giving it, like, in terms of how I'm not organised, but in terms of how I was expecting it to be a lot more sort of, you're in the queue for this autograph, you get the autograph, and then you fuck off. I was literally expecting it to be very much like cattle. Yeah. But I will say, I mean, like, just diving into the things that I picked up from Liverpool, I mean, the main thing, because I knew, like, just because of the timing and all that sort of stuff, Rosario, Hayden Christensen, guests like that were a little bit out of my budget for the weekend that we decided to go. So the one thing that I said I wanted to do, and unfortunately Natasha, who played Sabine in Ahsoka, had to drop out. So her and Emily Swallow were my main. I want to get these autographs. These are the guests that I'm going for. Because I'm not really much of an autograph guy myself either, to be honest. But it's just one of those where the opportunity comes up, you think, well, I've got to take it, haven't I? So from Liverpool, I did get, as we mentioned, Emily Swallow's autograph. Decided to get one of my Black Series Armourer figures signed, which is in a nice, shameless plug, Star Action Figures acrylic case, which is absolutely top tier stuff. And yeah, do you know what? And I was fully expecting even a guest like Emily to be, you get your autograph, you disappear. But my wife and I got time to talk to her. She was very personable. You know, everything about meeting her and everything about the experience was absolutely fantastic, and not at all what I was expecting from a larger event. So it was like I said, for all the shade we're throwing and for all the grief we're giving it, it was a much more personal event than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
Even down to like the queuing up for the Rosario panel and stuff like that. Like even that was not half as stressful as I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Let me just make it clear in case people have taken what I've said wrong. Like for the many things I've whinged about, I want that to be a testament to, even though shit went downhill and there were things that were cocked up, it didn't take away from the great experiences that we had meeting the people we went to meet. Like I think me and Dan, we in that line for Rosario, we were so frustrated and so hot and ready to just like collapse and have a snooze, but you know what, all that goes out the window once you know, in the moment. It's worth the blood, sweat, and tears. It really is.
And it's also the conversations you get with people in the queue. So I've kind of taken this from James and Celebration. And when we got speaking to the gentleman that we mentioned, I won't say his full name, just in case. But for Oliver, he's such a gent, lovely guy to speak to. He was telling us about the stuff that he was getting signed, who he's been seeing throughout the day. It's those interactions like that that make the con worth it. And
meeting fellow fans.
I moan about needing to go to the toilet. My own fault. I should have gone before getting in the queue. I'm an idiot. But we live and learn. And actually, I didn't need the toilet. It was me overthinking it. So, you know, it was...
You just needed to off to the toilet and rub the Monday, didn't you?
Wow. Wow. might be after seeing Rosario Dawson.
Never go ask the mouse, Dan. Never go ask the mouse.
But generally speaking, yeah, we might, you know, give. I think for us, or for me at least, I've not been to many big conventions to get autographs. Yeah. I'm more so for figures, and having done this convention. And obviously, Star Wars Fan Fun Day, they've given me the bug. I want to get autographs now. I've fully committed a wall now to autographs. And this
just give it time, mate. Just give it time, mate. You'll be committing a bathroom to your autographs.
Generally, that's the dream. That's the dream. But Steve, have you shown all your stuff from Liverpool? Is that
that's it, yeah. Autograph wise, yeah. I mean, I did get a bit of a bucket list, like Power of the Force items, or finally managed to get a woo her. So the canteen is now complete. Then we had a little bit of a venture off after the event, didn't we, to Forbidden Planet?
Oh yeah.
And I finally picked up Wicket. I also picked up, and there is a review now live on the channel, but Savaggio Press is now in the collection, which is an absolute banger of a figure. Hands down a top tier candidate for Black Series Figure of the Year, in my opinion. Just so good. And yeah, like I said, there's a review of that now up on the channel, so go and check that out if you haven't done so. And then coming up tomorrow, didn't get this from Liverpool, but I got it recently, so I felt like I should share it. Did get the new Kurde and decided to open it. I was going to keep it carded, but I just couldn't do it. And yeah, I'll be dropping a review on this on the channel tomorrow. So yeah, that's all my recent pickups. Not been getting much. Like we mentioned in the intro. Pre-orders have been going mental. So we'll talk about that when we get to the Hasbro reveals. I have got Shakti and Luminara coming from Amazon, and I did pick up as part of the May 4th celebrations the Disney Store Droid Factory set from Book of Boba Fett, which is
That's
I'm
ticked
making
one
it-
off that I don't need to show now, so that's good. Thank you.
Well, I'm making it a mission because I've missed out on so many of these Droid Factory sets, and so I just felt like I needed to get this. So, because I was wondering whether or not it was going to go up for pre-order or not, or go up for order, should I say? Just because May the 4th came around, and I was like, surely this should be advertised by now, and it went up on the day, so I grabbed it, and I also pre-ordered the Star Speeder.
Same.
Because, goddamn, I wanted the D23 one and we couldn't get it in the UK. So when that thing went up for pre-order, I was like, having that. So my wife has very, very kindly bought me that for Christmas, which I'm absolutely buzzing about. And just to answer Harry's question in the comments, why Amazon? I know, I asked myself the same question, mate, but I got a £50 gift voucher from work, so it was either that or pay for them. What you gonna do? You know what I mean? So there we go. But yeah, that's me done for pickups. Like I said, the main thing was Emily's. I mean that's a whoa.
Class.
Come say hello. Come say hello, Toby. Sorry, guys. Got a guest here. Hello.
The goody spy.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Here
Well, I
he is.
didn't-
Here's the doggo. Hey. Oh, he's a good boy, aren't you, mate?
Well, a decent amount of my screen time on our Facebook live stream the other week went to my cat. So we've got to balance the scales. Cats, dogs.
Toby One Kenobi. That's your name, isn't it, mate? Although my mum would disagree, but yeah. Go on. He's got comfy now, so if I wasn't sweating before we started, I've just gained a very heavy blanket. There you go. Yeah, he's a good boy. Sorry to sidetrack. There we go.
But yeah, I think in summary, pretty decent weekend.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I'm buzzing with my autographs I got. Because the main reason I wanted to go to Liverpool Comic Con, I think it was the reason why I said to you guys, "Did you fancy it?"
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't for a Star Wars guest. I went purely for Napoleon Dynamite because they hadn't put Rosario's thing up at the time, and I was like, you know what, I want to do it. So I pre-booked for John Heder, and I did have his name up. But the guy who plays Pedro
Sanchez.
Pedro Sanchez, vote for Pedro, a friend. He was lovely. Both of them were lovely. They gave me so much time. Again, you can see my whole haul on the YouTube channel. I'm going to plug that again. Get it in there where I can.
Basically, all of Dan's dreams came true.
They genuinely did. I was so happy in that queue, and it was really short as well. Because
that video that Clara filmed, you in queue, like,
yes,
like fucking guy out of Goonies.
Genuinely, they were honestly absolutely awesome. They gave me so much time to talk about the film and ask questions, and I even mentioned to John Heder about his upcoming project. It was such a dream, and I can't believe I've met Napoleon Dynamite and Pedro Sanchez. They were
the
lovely.
autograph you got as well, mate. Like touching on it being personal. I mean, that is a beautiful autograph.
Sits proudly on display. Literally the day after it was after Star Wars Fan Fun Day when we came back. I had about an hour to go to B&M, so I dashed to get a bunch of frames and stickers just to get them up because I'm like, I'm not having these sat. I need them out proudly on display. So, yeah, of course, I met them too. I then jumped into the queue quite sneakily, I might add, to get Emily Swallows. She was lovely again. Had a really great chat about, the fact that she probably is a Mauldalarian, but she can't say. She is. And obviously, me and James going to see Rosario, who was lovely. The only thing that I bought from the convention was that. That's a rarity for me. Usually I walk away from a con with figgies, but no, this time it
wasn't
literally
a lot to go at though, was there? In terms
there
of
wasn't
Star Wars,
unless you like blind bags. Bloody hell!
or scripts that have been signed authentically by actors.
I could do another live stream just on how much those things do me head in at cons.
Yeah, mystery bags, Funko. In fairness, though, I think like I made up for the Funko Pop.
The Spunko
hype.
Pops.
Yeah, sorry, dragged you guys around. Too many Funko stalls.
It's alright. Revenge pending. Don't worry, Steve.
Yeah, I
One
was
day.
just about to say you'll get me back. I'm not sure how, but you'll get me back definitely. But no, yeah, it were just class. It were really good. One thing that did stand out for me was all like the third party stuff, like the lightsaber stuff and the helmets, like the fan made helmets were really good.
I'm quite pleased we walked away from the Padawan Outpost booth rather swiftly.
Yeah.
Same.
Same.
I could have done some spends.
I didn't buy any figures, and I didn't get anything from May the 4th for all the online drops like you guys, because this idiot paid out for a Celebration exclusive Hot Toys Darkside Anakin. So I was watching the spending. I would have a lovely picture to show you, but I don't. But you know, Instagram and all that business. It's all good. Well worth it. Lovely figure.
Nah, yeah. I mean, there's a link down to James's Instagram for those who don't know, down in the vid description. Awesome toy photography as always, mate. Like that, I must admit that Anakin looks unreal. Like you sent me those pictures, and I was like, "Is that the one with the real hair?" Because I was expecting it to look shit, and that doesn't look shit.
I know, man. I know. You wouldn't believe I had to buy 2 of them, though, would you?
What?
Because the you know when I told you guys that
I
bought it.
Bloody hell!
Well, this is more recent than then. So long story short, because I know that we've got a lot to get to. For whatever reason, Parcel Force decided to say it was high value when it wasn't. Held it for 10 fucking days. So I communicated to him just to send it back to the buyer, because at this point I'm like, I mean, I can't talk about where I got it from or you know, the declared value, shall we say. But Parcel Force thought they were onto something and they were going to make a lot of tax off me, which they didn't. So I just, at this point, there was 2 available in the UK. I bought one. I had it last Saturday. Fucking fantastic. Enjoyed it. Got the other one in. Didn't charge me any tax. They just decided to be arseholes for over a week. Sold it, got my money back, done. So yeah, just my luck. But heyo. Would have been, you know, it might have cost me maybe a little bit less to fucking go to Japan and just get one. But never mind.
Well, on that note, that brings us to Japan.
Hey, segue. There we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great segue.
Love that. Yeah.
First of all, when they announced at London that the next one would be in Japan, I was absolutely over the moon, because it was on my bucket list. I love the ones that are abroad a lot more than the ones in the UK, for a lot of different reasons. And we build a 2-week or 3-week holiday around them, which we did with Japan. Amazing country. We could learn a lot from them. Phenomenal country. Celebration was about the same size as London. So not as big as the US celebrations. And you know, I saw some stuff in some of the Facebook groups that, you know, some of the Yanks were mourning that there wasn't enough stalls, it wasn't big enough, yada yada. But if you've been to the ones, you know, outside the States, like London, they're not as big. They're just not. I thought the guest list was great, but very small. They were all big hitters, but they weren't, you know, what were there in total? 12 or 14 guests or something. Very small guest list for a celebration. But I get it. You've got to get them out to Japan, and they'll probably only travel first class and blah, blah, blah.
Was the 12 or 14 guests was that encompassing the guests that were there just for sort of appearances and panels and stuff, or was that purely like the signing?
Just the signing.
Right. Because I was going to say, because there was a lot of people there for the panels and the stage stuff, wasn't there?
A lot, yeah. So, talking about Rosario's autograph, I got hers by default, and let me explain what I mean by that. I had really, really got excited because Oscar Isaac was going to be there.
Yeah.
And I had an Oscar Isaac street graph that someone got for me. But like you, James, I like them signed, personalised, to Neil. So I knew someone who wanted an Oscar Isaac, sold it, and used the money to buy an Oscar Isaac autograph ticket for Celebration Japan. And then he cancelled. And I thought, well, I've spent the money now. I'll get him somewhere else down the line. I've spent the money. I'll transfer it to Rosario and a small refund. And I only paid for straight autograph 8x10. I didn't pay any money for extra, to Neil or character names or anything like that. And I got 2 autographs at Celebration. I got a couple of others, and I'll explain in a minute. But when I went I got Rosario and I got Manager Quinto. And when I went to see them, they were both lovely. They both spent time chatting, and they both signed it to Neil and put the character names on. And you were saying, you'd seen some stuff. That's mine from Celebration.
Yes.
And I think that's a lovely autograph.
Yeah, man, I like that.
That's a cool picture as well.
Yeah.
I did the other autographs I got. There's a guy called Spencer Jowitz. I don't know if you know him, and he does an event the night before Celebration. He did it in London, and he did it in Japan. He normally calls it Bunta Eve, but in Japan because he has this virtual cantina network on Facebook, he called it the Not So Virtual Cantina. And I got 2 autographs from that. I have met Jim Swearingen, the toy designer from Kenner, on a couple of occasions, but I've never got his autograph. And if you have any vintage stuff in your collection, it will have been designed by Jim. And as you know, I'm an old bloke, and I have a lot of vintage in my collection. And so I got a signed photo of Jim holding an X-Wing. That he's signed to Neil, Jim Swearingen, Palatoy toy designer. Not a Kenner toy designer. And the other one I got, and I'm absolutely rubbish with names, but the young girl from Skeleton Crew that has the Geordie visor.
Yes. I saw Fantha Tracks on Instagram covering that event now that you've said. Yeah.
She was there, and I got her autograph. And she was lovely. And her mum, who was with her, was really, really nice to talk to. In terms of toys, I picked up 2 Skeleton Crew. I picked up the pirate captain that looks like a wolf, Black Series, and Jod. And my swag for Celebration was a sticker with a picture of Neil in front of Jod, and it said Neil before Jod. Some of you will get this Superman reference.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Now, what I did pick up in Japan, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of gashapons.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
certainly
I've seen your video, mate. Very good.
Yeah, well, I had never heard of them, and they're literally everywhere in Japan. And I mean, you know, we went to the Bandai Namco factory store, and there are gashapon machines as far as the eye can see, rows and rows and rows and rows of them with all kinds of different stuff in them. And in the Celebration Japan Facebook group, people were posting that for the month of April that we were there, there were a set of 3 figures. And gashapons are those machines where you put in your 500 yen and you turn the dial and a little capsule comes out like this. And inside those capsules were little model kits that you put together that make little busts.
Oh,
So
wow.
Oh, nice.
the
That's
set
cool.
of 3 was Darth Maul, Vader,
I like that.
and my favourite is
Yo.
Nice.
That's
Nice. Yeah.
They remind me of those little. Was it Gentle Giant that used to do the mini bust ups?
bust
Yeah.
ups, yeah,
Yeah.
very similar. And then inside the store, the Celebration store, they had a row of gashapon machines, and they had these micro figures in them, and you could either get them on the black card with the silver racetrack, you know, the vintage looking card, or on Star Wars Celebration cards. So I went for the Star Wars Celebration card.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
There were 5 in the set, and I managed to get 4. There's a Stormtrooper, Vader.
That's cool.
Just give me 1 second, guys. There's Han Solo, and on the back you've got the
That's class.
Celebration
so cool.
Japan.
I love weird little stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's Chewie. And the one I didn't manage to find was Luke Skywalker in his farm boy outfit. So I got 4 out of the 5. I'll just reach up here. That was the lanyard, and I went for individual day badges because it meant obviously I would get 3 lots of artwork. So that's the Friday, the Saturday.
God, that artwork is unreal.
Yeah, that's
They're
wicked.
so nice.
And swag trading, you can see some badges that are on the lanyard.
Mm-hmm.
I've never known swag trading like it. They announced times when you could go and trade swag in what we called Swag Alley. It was kind of a walkway outside of the building, and you literally stood there with your swag, and people were just, you know, like 8 deep.
I love that. I love that.
As usual, I came home with a massive bag full of stuff and thought, like, where am I going to put all this? But I have a book that I put all my stickers in. I put as many badges on my lanyard as I can. I have a box that I put all patches in. And then right back in the corner of the Star Wars room, there's a little shelf for my favourite bits of swag. And I've got some stuff to add to that shelf. But you know, like everything else in this room, I'm completely running out of space to put anything really.
Preach.
So I that was it really. I mean, another thing that I was so impressed. I don't know if you saw the video I did of the Gundam. There's in Diver City. There's a life size because they're real. A life size unicorn Gundam. And it was so impressive. It was one of the highlights of the trip for me. It was so impressive that I had to go back the next day and look at it again because it was so good. And a big thing in Japan is these Gundam, collecting these Gundam. And I've started down that rabbit hole. I won't.
It's a big rabbit hole.
I don't have the space.
Oh yeah.
But they're absolutely superb. They're kind of a cross between a model kit and an action figure because you build them like a model kit, and they're pre-coloured, so you don't need to paint them, you don't need to glue them. They snap together. But when you've built them, they're fully posable and articulated, and you can pose them like action figures. I'm in the middle of building one at the minute. They're really good.
I've always wanted to have a go at one because I like my painting, but with them you don't really need to do anything because all the plastic's pre-injected, pre-molded. Really interesting process if you want to look into it. Adam Savage did a really cool video about, I think on his channel, about how they actually do it. But they're so cool. They're so like detailed as well.
Here's a top tip for you. If you've got one of those hobby craft stores near you, you can get the entry level Gundam, which is obviously a great one to start with if you've never built one, for a tenner.
That's not bad. It's really good actually. Yeah. Oh no. I'm a bit of a kleptomaniac when it comes to weird hobbies like that, like building stuff and model kits. I've always wanted to have a go. Even JCC 22224 on my YouTube one, he said to me when I did my Dan miniature paints videos, he wanted me to do a Gundam. Maybe that's the thing I do. Because I've always wanted to have a go at one. So tenner, it's not really much of a loss, is it?
Well, you can get the same one with a full arsenal of weapons for 13 quid.
No contest, really.
Oh, that's it. What's an extra couple of quid? Go on now.
Dan's like, I don't need to have breakfast tomorrow. I don't need to eat next week. It's fine.
Then they end up going to Spin Planet and spending 30 or 40 odd quid that the other kids got. So
I was just about to say, because they've got the new one in Chef's got a floor dedicated to Gundam, hasn't it?
Basically,
near enough. Yeah. Bloody hell. Rather you than me, mate. That's all I'm going to say.
That's so cool. But I think Japan's such a toy haven from what I've seen of people who've been. And I mean, the Gashapon machines is something that we've got one in Meadowhall. There's a store.
Is there?
There is, yeah. It's not as big as obviously somewhere in Japan, but there's a little one. It's I think it's Konami.
I did not know that.
Yeah, unless it's closed now. But
do they have the Star Wars stuff there?
I don't know, because obviously Gashapon machines, there's loads of different things. It's not just Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like anime, there's Back to the Future. I've seen there's all sorts. So I think Steve, we might have to have a look.
Oh, don't cost me more money.
Just as an add-on, the ones for me, and obviously I had left at the end of April. The ones for me were Dejarik pieces, lightsaber.
Oh,
yes, yeah, I remember seeing them.
And droids, because my granddaughter's there at the minute, and I said to her, don't spend all your holiday searching for rubbish for me. But if you see any of these droid ones, I would really like. They looked in the photographs to be around the same scale as a 3.75 droid.
Mm.
That's cool. I
I'll
like
have a
that.
look into that. I must admit, Japan's on my bucket list and all. I really wanted to do Celebration and do Japan as like you did it, Neil, as a combination holiday, but it just went in the cards. But yeah, I think it's going to have to be one that we do, definitely.
You won't be disappointed. It's everything I thought it was going to be, and more. You talk about Toy Haven. There are stores, a store dedicated to Godzilla toys, another one to Star Wars toys, Hello Kitty, One Piece, Gundam, and these Japanese kids are queued down the lane, in the shopping mall to buy Hello Kitty or whatever Gundam. The Gundam base close to the big life-size Gundam, they were giving out virtual queue tickets, and the best one I could get at 11 o'clock, which is when we went to see this thing, because they move these Gundams and light up and all that life-size things. The best one I could get at 11 o'clock was a 3:30 virtual ticket, just to go in and buy a kit.
That's crazy. It's a different world over there, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard stories about the Hot Toy store and how that whole process works of buying hot toys, and it sounds so. I don't want to say archaic, but I'm sure I heard that basically you have to go in, fill a form out, and that's how you pre-order it, and that's how a lot of these resellers in the UK get it through. These people literally stand in a queue and order X amount of hot toys. It's
mental.
You would not believe the prices of them over there either, Dan.
That's it. Even cheaper, isn't it?
Mate, I'd need 10 fucking suitcases.
Well, the other thing is, obviously, it costs quite a bit to get out there.
Yeah.
But once you get there, it's very, very cheap. We went for a katsu meal, me and Sue, and the bill came to like £6.
Wow.
Could you imagine?
Get me there now. you had me at katsu. You had me bent up at table at £6.
There's a Chinese guy who's Vader in the 501st, and he lives in Japan, and he has a Wagyu beef restaurant, and he put a thing on Facebook. If you're in Kyoto, come and see. And so we were in Kyoto, and we said, yeah, we should support him. We'll go to his restaurant. Now that I have never ever tasted beef like that in my life. Now that was like £120 for two of us. So there's both ends of the scale. But like we were eating really, really nice Japanese food, with a beer or whatever, £10 a head. I brought several £100 back with me, and I don't do that on holiday. I don't bring money back, but I just couldn't spend it all.
I'm sold. Absolutely sold.
James is
what
thinking,
do you think about it being in LA next time?
Well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm passenger princess, so.
Oh dear.
In joke. But no, do you know what? It's a serious consideration. It's pretty much a given.
Yeah.
I think it's gone beyond the point of serious consideration for us three, hasn't it? I mean, we've said about the possibilities, because I mean, there's not just Celebration in LA. There's so many things that we all, like as a unit, all want to see. the observatory, Chinese theatre, the Lucasfilm Museum that's due to open in 2027 as well. Like, it's just a pilgrimage that I think we've got to make. So,
Galaxy's Edge at Anaheim.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very happy that it's going to be there, and it was always going to be in the States, and LA makes sense because, you know, Lucasfilm is based in California.
mhm.
There's going to be a film out that year, all that kind of thing. Sue and I have done California to death over the years, you know, from going with the kids when they were little, and, you know, it's two or 3 years since we went last. So we will probably go in for Celebration and then go on to somewhere that we haven't been in the States.
Yeah.
Just because we've done everything we want to do in California. But I think it'll be a big one. It's obvious, you know, it's the 50th anniversary of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think they'll have some amazing guests signing and not signing. And I think it'll be a very, very big event. Well, it's interesting that they're having it at LA Convention Centre and not Anaheim, where they've had it a couple of times before.
That's what piqued my interest as well.
I think it's because it's a bigger convention centre.
Yeah. Definitely a possibility, and it, like you say, it opens up that conversation as to, is there going to be something? I think they've got to go all out. They've got to do something. Like you said, 50 years is a monumental milestone, so they've got to go. Whether, I don't know, I must admit, Seth put in the comments, wonder if they're going to have George Lucas or Harrison Ford at Celebration for the 50th. I feel so guilty for thinking, like, when this got announced, I said to Cara, I was like, we need to go. This could be our only opportunity to see Harrison Ford. Completely overlooking George Lucas and the mere possibility of the fact that he could be there. Like, I feel so bad, like, just ignoring the guy that is responsible for my spare room. What? It's not right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Hamill makes an appearance.
Oh yeah.
I know it's not a regular thing, but I noticed he's started to do a few convention appearances and more private signings over the last few years.
Yeah.
I know these guys are getting on a bit, so maybe it might be one of the last big appearances they make, even if they're not signing, maybe a panel or something on stage.
I think there's got to be a 50th anniversary panel.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a very, very. We've already started talking about the logistics, haven't we? So there's a very, very strong possibility that in 2027 we will be in LA for Celebration. But no, a lot of events to look forward to. A lot of events that have been and gone that we've just had an absolute blast at. And I think with all that said and done, I think that just brings us to a good time in the stream to have because it's going to be a lengthy one, because we've still got Hasbro reveals and we've still got Andor to get through. So shall we call it for 5 and take a quick toilet break, grab a drink, have some refreshments, and come back refreshed, reinvigorated, and ready to talk some toys? How do we feel about that?
That would be lovely.
So we will be back in 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, because I've only timed the clip for 5 minutes. So if anybody's not back in that time, we'll have an empty chair. But oh well. So yeah, we'll see you all in 5, and we'll be back to talk. Shall we jump into toy reveals and then conclude with Andor? Or yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Let's do it. So we'll see you all in 5 for some toy talk as advertised. See you in 5.
Oh yeah.
Are we all feeling refreshed? Well, Dan's
Oh,
clearly not.
yes.
Oh, he is. He's feeling refreshed. He's right. Just in the nick of time. Right. Buckle in, buckaroos, because we've got some toys to talk. So, obviously, with the May the 4th weekend behind us, we did get some reveals from Hasbro, which was staggered, which was odd. We got some stuff on May the 4th, and then we got some stuff afterwards, and we got some unannounced stuff, and it was just a bit all over the place, but it was cool nonetheless. So we'll dive right into it, and we'll kick things off as always, being a superior scale live stream. Just to throw that out there, we'll start with the Black Series. And we'll kick things off with some roleplay items because it's not something that we tend to dive into much on these shows, but when they announce them, we tend to talk about them. And first up, I felt like we had to talk about this first because I've been manifesting this for so long and it's finally arrived, and I don't think I've hit pre-order faster than I have on an item like this. It's the Black Series Commander Cody helmet, which I'm absolutely buzzing to see. And like I said, I pre-ordered it. I'm going to retire one of my other helmets because this has got to take pride of place next to Captain Rex. I think it's mint. I absolutely love it. What do you guys think?
The real question is, why didn't they announce this on the initial Hasbro live stream and it was thrown out? Because this would have had the crowd roaring.
It would have made a bit more sense than to just quietly announce it and reveal it on like IGN or TMZ or something stupid like that. Strange. Very, very strange marketing planning there on the part of Hasbro, but be that as it may, we are getting a Black Series Commander Cody helmet. I'm buzzing. I think it's mint. It looks fantastic. Yeah. Really, really good.
I'm looking forward to see what it will look like in person, and that will probably sway me to buy it.
Yeah, because they always tend to look slightly different in the pics, don't they? But
as it stands, though, really nice. Just don't know where I'm going to put it if I do get it.
Yeah, that's my stance as well. Space is rapidly reducing. I don't have any helmets on display because of how big they are, even though I own several, but I'll probably buy this anyway, just because.
You've got to, mate. This is an obligatory purchase for you.
I'll be letting the side down otherwise. Yeah, I've got to get it.
I will wait and see what it looks like in hand. I actually already have a Commander Cody one. It's a fiberglass pull. Daz Wildman made that one for me, and a Captain Rex, because my dogs were called Rex and Cody.
That's mint.
So I already have one. Whether this will be better will depend on whether I buy it or not.
Fair assessment. I mean, like we said, like the helmets always tend to vary, don't they, in terms of what we get in the presses and what we get in actual hand. I remember the Rex helmet looked very different in the press photos when that was revealed, and the three of us all said that looks shit. It looks weird. Like there's something off about it. It doesn't look right. But then in hand, it's just such a. I'm sure James has got some issues with it because there's some inaccuracies there. So I'm sat here singing its praises, but I'm sure there's something wrong with it somewhere. But for me, like as a display piece, it's class. I love it. So Cody was an instant. I mean, like I said, I've said for ages on these streams when we've talked about the product reveals and stuff. Like, and they've done the helmets, and they've always been the repaints of the Rebel pilots, or they've been this, or they've been that, and I've always said, if they're going to do a repaint, where's Django Fett? Where's Commander Cody? Where are the AT-AT driver? All this sort of stuff. So to see this, like I said, I feel like I've manifested it. So I'd have been doing myself a dishonour if I didn't pre-order it. And I'm willing to sacrifice the space that's in card currently on for Commander Code because I've got no connection to Cardinal like this. So
record this. It's not something that happens often. I haven't picked it apart for accurate things. Looks good to me. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily make a habit of picking apart clone things for accuracy. There's already a certain niche. There's already a little niche online dedicated to doing that think they know best. So I'll let them crack on. The only two things that I want from Hasbro in regards to roleplay at the minute is swap those bloody silly voice changes for actual sound effects. So, like the Clone Wars Rex helmet and Clone Wars Clone Trooper helmet, whilst they are voice changes, they had a load of sound effects from the show. I just like a few voice lines for wherever it's meant to be from. Even the Death Trooper one that's come out, if it just went, that'd do me.
That's something that we've said about as well, isn't it? Like, I mean, they started doing that at the start of the Black Series helmet range with like Luke's X-Wing pilot helmet, which has got the audio in it. Like, the fact that they stopped doing that halfway through the run is strange, but I think would add so much to these pieces.
The other thing that I want is, since you're advocating for certain repaints, Steve, is can we have the Scout Trooper one repainted as Ezra's, please?
Yes. Absolutely.
That's about it, really. I mean, I am interested to see the final product because I am getting a bit tired of product renders and things like that. I know we don't necessarily see a lot of it in the Star Wars brand, but
makes you wonder as well how far ahead in production this item actually is as well, because we haven't had the boxed images of it yet.
Yeah, and when you were on about the Rex one, the render looking, if I remember, the dome looked really elongated on the render. But I think at some event somewhere in the world, the day after the reveal, it was on a shelf, or somebody had a picture of it from a Hasbro panel. I don't remember the specifics, but we were able to rather swiftly confirm that it didn't, in fact, look bad.
Yeah. And can confirm it does not. It looks very, very good.
Oh, it's not.
So yeah, like I said, I mean, to get these two next to one another in the collection is an absolute must. So yeah, I mean, the jury's out on this one. We'll see when in-hand pictures start to come in as to what it actually looks like. But I mean, while we're on the subject of role play and all that sort of stuff, I know that at least there's a couple of us on this panel that don't really go in on the role play stuff and the lightsabers and stuff like that. But we did also get the reveal of Ezra's lightsaber from Ahsoka. Where do we all stand on that? Are we bothered? Are we not bothered? Are we lightsaber collectors? Are we not?
Couldn't care less.
Yeah, not in an honourable way, but if it's a lightsaber that's being made by Hasbro, next.
Yeah, I must admit. I don't know what it is. Hasbro lightsabers don't do anything for me, but like we were talking about when we were talking about the con recap and what we saw at Liverpool, some of those NeoPixel sabers were doing me a tempt.
I think it's the fact that those NeoPixel sabers are very similar to the price range of the Hasbro ones. That just makes me think I'd go for a third party.
Even the Galaxy's Edge ones being a little chunky, the quality of them is just far superior.
Yeah. So it's a swift. Thank you. Next on that one, then.
Happy for those that want it.
Good choice of design and character saber though, going for something that hasn't already been done to death.
Yeah.
It's just another one of those, isn't it? Though, where it's like a little bit late to the game, in the sense that this should have maybe been revealed when Ahsoka started to build the hype for the show. Like, you should have had the Ahsoka figures out, the Ahsoka lightsabers.
Yeah. With Ezra specifically, I do think they held that back in a similar way to the Force Awakens Luke. So none of that stuff got sent out to companies until after we all saw it.
Yeah, it's.
Sometimes that kills it for people, though.
Yeah,
so.
That's it. Yeah, there you go. Seth has mentioned the aforementioned Padawan Outpost sabers. They're what we were looking at Liverpool, and bloody nice. Luke says the same
they
thing.
They make character sounds as well.
Yeah, even the NeoPixel ones do. I mean, I've got the one and only saber that I've got in my collection is I don't know if it's. I've forgotten the name of the company off the top of my head, but it was gifted to me by a friend, and it's the Anakin. It's the Skywalker Legacy saber, and that's
Master
got
replicas.
No, it's a third party.
Right.
I forget the name. I can't remember it.
Forge.
Something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it's loaded up with sound effects. It's color changing. It's even got sound effects in it that it's one of those where you can customize it prior to buying. And because this was gifted to me by a friend, he'd already loaded all the sound effects into it. So even though it's Anakin's saber, you've got like General Grievous voice clips, you've got Leia sound clips in it, and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know. It's just the customization aspect of those third party ones, just something that appeals to me. I mean, Dan, I've said to you, haven't I, numerous times, like these NeoPixel sabers do me a tempt.
It was on the train.
So,
you were that close to buying one on the train.
Yeah, because they do I don't know if it's Padawan Outpost, but it's one of the third party companies, and they do the Kyle Katarn lightsaber. That's where the money in the wall space is going for me. That's all I'm going to say. So, but yeah, it's by the by. Like Dan said, very diplomatically. Happy for those who want it. The next reveals, I'm very, very keen to discuss, especially with you, Nez, because I know how you feel about repacks and packaging variants and all that sort of stuff. And I know that it's not something that particularly appeals to you, but for us, we're idiots and we buy things when we see nice cardboard. So, to celebrate Revenge of the Sith, we're getting some more repacked figures, which isn't ideal, but it's that Revenge of the Sith packaging that is just so.
But then you'll get it home and rip it out of its packaging.
Well, I wouldn't with
the same as the other one.
I wouldn't with this one. I'd keep it carded because I already have it. But what is interesting about Ayla Secura in particular is that they've decided to include the swooshy lightsaber with this one. They didn't do that with the original release.
Yeah, that should just. Like those either.
Oh, I was going to say the opposite. I think all Black Series figures that are Jedi should come obligatory with that, just for some diversity. But I mean, each to their own.
Yeah.
The best thing I can say about that is it's very blue.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I like these, but the cards are great. Don't get me wrong. Love them. Absolutely love them. I think the character choices are just so many of them are wrong, though.
Yes.
Where's Anakin? Where's Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
I know that there's a supposed 2-pack coming for a con later in the year of Anakin and Obi-Wan, where it'll be something that's happening on Mustafar in a box set. Or from what's gone around online, that seems to be what the common consensus is. I don't care. I want them in these boxes. Like first figure I got from Revenge of the Sith was that Anakin with the swooshing effect when he screws his legs together, and he came with the interchangeable hand that had the red lightsaber fixed to it. What was so hard about recreating that?
It just seems insanity to me. I mean, the first figure that we've got revealed in this upscaled Revenge of the Sith packaging was Cody, which was welcome. Didn't make a lot of sense given the fact that Cody didn't come in this packaging when he was first released. But I think it was, like Dan said in his review of the figure, like it was kind of Hasbro making amends for not releasing him in Revenge of the Sith the first time. So finally giving us what we wanted, which was fine. And all well and good. And what I loved about that was that it was a brand new figure on a beautiful card. So it was like the best of both worlds. It was brand new, and the packaging was fantastic. Since then, like, I just find it's mental that Anakin and Obi-Wan weren't the first two figures post-Code to have been revealed on these cards. New and updated figures, lovely packaging, meet every sort of criteria.
But where is this repack thing going? Are we going to get 3.75-inch figures repacked in boxes so that they look like 6-inch figures? I just don't get it.
A fair perspective.
It is actually. I mean, considering that they did do that, you know, when the Black Series not really first came out, but they started putting 3 3/4 inch in the boxes.
Yeah, red and black box.
Yeah,
And then
well, that
it's
was it. Black Series was the blanket line at one bit, wasn't it? And then they realised it didn't work. I mean,
so we're going to get them in little boxes with the angled edge, with the artwork down the thing. I just don't get it. I mean, fair enough. You know, my cards are firmly on the table. I'm an opener, so I'm not that bothered about boxes and cards anyway. But and I get, you know, again, I get it's a business and they're trying to make money. But you know, they've got to start thinking about the collectors and stop putting out stuff that's been out before and start putting out some new stuff that hasn't been out and plugging the gaps. You know, the old incumbent at Hasbro said they were going to do every single figure in 3.75, even those that were just walking past in the background in the blink of an eye. And we're still, you know, I know last time I was...
exactly who you're going to say as well.
But where are they? Where is Clee Egg Laws?
She's my wife. Oh dear, mate.
Stop putting out Jedis that have been out before on these cards and give me Clee Egg Laws, Hermione Bagua, the Tanika sisters, the Twi'leks that were massaging Sebulba in the garden.
Yes.
That's what we need now. We've got a Black Series Sebulba as well.
Get him his masseuses now. Get them wrinkles out. Come on. He's got some rake kinks.
Look at that. Good timing, mate. Good timing.
Review will be coming on my channel. He's currently editing. He's in the editing process. So
what a figure as well. What a figure.
I can vouch for reasons.
Chicken.
Chicken burger.
Chicken burger.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I get the perspective. I really do. I mean, I think this is one of those where it's like they've tried to appease both, but it's like you say, it's just character selection. I mean, I must admit, the second of these two reveals speaks to me a little bit more.
But this is where I'm sorry, I've got to chime in here. It's fucking confused. I don't get it. I don't get it because it's like, oh, you know what? It's you know, it's meant to be like a supplement to Archive. So we're going to have figures that we've done before, like Ayla, like R2, like Dooku. But then no, we're also going to wab in some repaints and also one new figure. Pick one thing to do. Just pick one. It's either going to be all new figures or nothing. Now, I do like this. But just pick one thing that's new or not. It's so confused, and that's what's irritating. Yeah. It's bittersweet because we haven't got Anakin or Obi-Wan on this card, because that would have made me buy two, because I'm a loser and I need to have one card and one not carded. But I did it with Cody.
Yeah.
It's baffling. It's baffling. They were on this close to greatness.
I would argue that, Harry. No, to what Harry
okay.
put in the comments, the two
Oh, dear.
Clone Wars ones got it right.
No.
Did they though? Did they
No.
though? They
Do you
got it
know
right.
that comment I made about clone accuracy 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
I'd like to withdraw that statement, please, because whatever was in that box, it was not fucking Captain Fordo. Let's have one thing right.
That was
was
Stinky Poo Poo Caca.
Yeah. The cards were fantastic. The cards
Yeah.
looked amazing, but the figures were fucking shit. And I'm not like, and I would argue that point till the cows come home because they did not get that right. They got it right to the degree of. Oh, excuse me. They got it right to the degree of. Are these going to be for openers or are they going to be for carded collectors? Because that line was purely for carded collectors.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't any rhyme or reason why anybody would have opened those up. I know I didn't. I bought them like an idiot.
And I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I opened them.
For what reason? For what reason? So, yeah, there's an argument to be made. I mean, like I said, for the Magna Guard, speaks to me a little bit more because I thought...
I like this one too.
Yeah,
Good.
I liked it.
I do. I didn't pick up the original, so it's more of an incentive for me to buy this, right?
I did, but in the same way, Steve. I like that it's a variance. I like to have
Well,
a
that's what I
couple of
mean,
different
like,
ones. So
I didn't pick up the first one.
Okay.
I'd heard mixed reviews about the first one that said it wasn't a great figure, so I decided to leave it. And I also wasn't bothered about the paint apps. I thought the deco looked crap, whereas this looks so much better than the original. So
just in Harry Django Fat 220's defense, he did put it's the 2008 Clone Wars. So yeah, we did jump the gun a bit there.
Oh right, yeah, those are sick.
No slap.
No, I think what he's saying. I think what he's saying is the 2D Clone Wars got it right, and then we counted it, and then he says, "But the 2008 Clone Wars, though, yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
making a case for both, absolutely."
Come on, if I start gushing about 2008 Clone Wars again, I'm gonna have to like give super chats to the fucking people in the comments because they've sat through that shit till the cows come out.
Okay.
Well, that's what we're here for, James. That's what we all know and love you for. What about
in
this
that
one for you,
case,
Izzy?
never.
as an opener, where do you stand on this one? Because this is different.
It's a robot with a stick. It's okay. You know, I'll buy it when Hasbro don't sell as many as they thought they were going to do,
And reduce it.
action figures get them and put them on sale for $8.99.
My guy gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't love this repack and repaint, then you're gonna love this.
Is it Clear Laws?
No, it's worse. It's from Jedi Survivor. It's the Black Series KX Security Droid and Droidica 2-pack. And I couldn't give two shiny shits.
You know what? If that doesn't bolster my argument, what will? Why are you making figures from games or painting old figures to look like ones from games when there are central characters in the Skywalker saga that you haven't made? What the hell?
Yeah.
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 As well to that, mate. It's like there's whether you're saying like important characters, there are so many important characters in the games that they keep releasing droid and fucking trooper repaints from, like these.
Because they've already got them all. Because they've already got them all, and it's easy. It's low hanging fruit, and bloody idiots will buy them.
James, have you pre-ordered this one, mate?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's a droidica. It's a droidica.
To an
That's
extent,
what
though, with
sells me.
Black Series, like obviously I don't do 3 3/4 inch like you guys. So for Black Series, as long as it's, I mean, Shooting myself in the fucking foot here. As long as it's not a stupid repaint, but let me clarify stupid repaint. Credit Collection Dark Trooper. As long as it's not something like that, then I'm getting them, alright? But I'm still, you know, where's Sia Junda? Where's Eno Cordova? Where's Grease?
Hey now.
See, I don't
only
even know who any of them people are.
The good characters, Neil, I promise.
I'm 65 years old. I don't play bloody video.
It's one of those, though. I do agree with James's sentiment that I get what you're saying, as in the sense that there's so many characters from the 3 trilogies that need making before these. But at the same time, I agree with James in the sense that, you're going to bring out these figures from games, but where are the core characters? I mean, look how long it's taken them to get to bloody Merrin. You know, look how long it took.
It's simple, mate. They've already got those molds. That's
absolutely, yeah.
It's lazy. It's lazy.
Fair enough. But James is like, it's lazy and I bought it.
I'm not happy about it.
Invest some money in some tooling and give us deep clear gloss. Give us
He's going to bang that drum till cows come home, honestly.
I will die on this hill.
I mean, it's got legs.
It's got one, I think.
It's enough to stand on that argument for sure. Yeah, let's get it done.
I mean, I feel like we've set a precedent here, because I'm not going to lie. Out of all the things that could have been revealed on May the 4th, I just feel like the May the 4th reveals overall were very, very underwhelming. It wasn't the best showing. We did get we got some good stuff. I mean, I'm going to just to continue with Black Series and to throw it to one of the slightly newer figures that we got revealed. I mean, I'm excited about it. I don't know whether Nez will be, because it's a stormtrooper with a gun, but a new Black Series Sandtrooper, which I am very excited about, and I'm also very excited about it because they've changed things up a little bit and given it a new gun, which we haven't, I don't think, seen in the Black Series so far. And to put, because I absolutely love Sandtroopers, and so to get this on the new and updated Stormtrooper sculpt is a treat. I think it's going to look really, really good in hand. And I love that they went that extra mile to give it like the different gun that we haven't seen in the Black Series so far. But at the same time, I'm probably gonna get a tongue lashing in a minute, because it's gonna be but it's a repaint or it's a retool or it's this or it's that. But how do you feel? Where do you stand?
First of all, being Mr. Pedantic, it can't be new and updated. It's either new.
Well, it's a new.
It can't be both.
It's technically a new and updated Sandtrooper.
No, it can't be new and updated. It's either a new Sandtrooper or it's an updated one.
Fair enough. I'm getting attacked by grammar police.
I will actually buy that, because I've got some space just behind me where I've got a dewback and a couple of Sandys either side of the land speeder. So another one will fit in there and that'll look okay.
There we go.
It's still lazy.
New and improved.
New and improved, yeah.
That's fair. That's what I meant to say. Sorry.
No, but it can't. It's either new or it's improved.
It's both. It's both.
It can't be.
From a certain point of view.
If it's improved on an old thing, so it can't be new.
Well, it has improved on an old thing. It's improved on the old Sandtrooper, but it's also a new version.
It's in the new box. Does that count?
Has it got Clear Laws written on the
In that case, it's not improved or updated or new. No, it's an instant buy. I mean, this is another one of those where I feel like I've manifested it and I've asked for it that many times that it's one of the it's about damn time. I mean it's not until you put those old stormtroopers from the Black Series side by side with that new 2020 mold that you realise how janky and crap the old ones are. So I'm
I
happy.
agree to a point. I actually quite like the original Black Series Stormtroopers. I think because it was one of the first, it's superior in a lot of detailed aspects compared to any of the subsequent re-releases it saw.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
This it leaves me conflicted because I like that original figure, but naturally this being on the 2020 Stormtrooper mold to avoid using trigger words.
What, like new and improved or new and updated?
I still want it for that reason. I just hope that, first of all, they make the other versions, but not one with a grey pauldron, because unless I'm mistaken, there wasn't a grey pauldron one. That's just something they made for the dewback.
Yes, it comes with a dewback.
Yeah, I don't think it was in the film, though. I could be wrong, but I don't think you see one with a grey pauldron in the film. I've heard people for TVC discuss similar things as well, because, I mean, you might show this one later, Steve, so we'll come to it if we do.
We'll get TVC, because there's a...
But yeah,
God, fucking hell. If you love repacks and repaints, you're in for a fucking treat when we get to TVC, lads. I tell you.
Like the gun, though. So,
yeah, I think for me, it's like I'm glad that it's coming, but I would have liked to, just because that very first Black Series Sandtrooper had the orange pauldron. It'd have been nice if they'd have just shaken things up and done something a little bit different colour wise with this one. But I suppose that's why the new gun's there, just to shake things up a bit. But no, I mean, like I said, it's just one of those. It's just one of those where you've got an older figure, and yeah, it's good for a time, and then engineering gets better and the sculpt gets better and all that sort of stuff, and then a new one comes along and it's better, and this is just an example of that. I think, like you said, just to play devil's advocate, yeah, that old one is good. I think it's one of the better earlier Black Series figures.
Still holds up, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where, like, that first wave of Black Series, I mean, probably with the exception of R2, you felt like, because if I remember rightly, I mean, I feel like me and Dan have talked about this previously, but if I remember rightly, when Black Series very first started, Hasbro said that Gentle Giant had a hand in helping out with the paint apps and the sculpts and all that sort of stuff. And with that in mind, you sort of saw that premium element in some of those early figures. And as the line went on, you were like, okay, Hasbro are having a little bit more to do with this, and the quality is starting to decrease a little bit. And yeah, these aren't quite what the line was sold as at the start. Whereas now we're getting back into the
Marvel Legends figures.
Yeah, not even so much just the recycled parts, just the overall quality. Like with that first wave, like the paint applications, like just to James's point, that the paint apps on that first Sandtrooper were absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Like that, not even just with regards to the weathering, but like the helmet details, like everything was so crisp and precise and well done. And as the line progressed, at least in those early years, it got worse, I would argue. Sort of
wave 3.
Yeah, wave 3, 4 weren't great, and now maybe we're not at like Gentle Giant getting involved levels, but the figures themselves now are really good. Really, really good. I mean, I think, I've said it before, like Hasbro doing with the Black Series, with the newer figures, not with the repacks and the repaints and the retools, but with the new figures, they're doing the best work.
Yeah.
From a sculpting, proportion, articulation standpoint, Savage Press, Code, Shizo, there's a handful of figures just from this year that are solid candidates for best Black Series figure ever, and that's a testament to the work that Hasbro are doing now. But yeah, like you said, that first Black Series Sand Trooper was and still is pretty damn good. But life is good, but it could be better. And here we have better, and I'm liking it, and I'm here for it. So it's a buy, 100%.
Straight in my basket.
There we go. To the retools and repaints argument we have. I want to get excited for this. I really do, because we knew it was coming as well, because I think we talked about it on the 2025 rumours and reveals list that we did at the start of the year. So we knew it was coming, but I don't know. I'm just like...
Well, we didn't know that it was going to be a named clone, did we? It was.
No,
just,
I must admit, I thought it was just going to be 327th Starcore clone. I wasn't expecting Lieutenant Gaul, which doesn't make a difference to me from a figure standpoint.
Does anybody know where they've had the name from?
No,
it's going to be from. It's going to be from somewhere, isn't it? Like, it's going to be from a trading card or a comic book or something.
I was wondering about this, whether it was a comic book or whether it was one of those old StarWars.com profiles, like how
the name
clone
rings a bell. The name rings a bell, but I don't know where from. I want to say it's from that battle pack that we talked about a while back, the Gelagrub.
Yeah.
Shit,
yeah, maybe.
Did it come with? Did Lieutenant Gaul come with the Gelagrub?
I thought it was just.
I don't know. It's just a 327 to me.
I don't know. But it's there. It's here. It's for me. It's just It's on the new clone sculpt. Brilliant.
Somebody in the chat says Visual Dictionary. They think.
Okay. Fair enough.
Play.
But yeah, for me, it's just it's Commander Bly without his macro binoculars. So I'm like, I
like it, don't get me wrong.
I like it. I can just live without it.
I very much like that they've listened to the criticism of the removable clone helmet and that this one is a entirely new sculpt, because it still hasn't looked right since 2020-ish.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this one does look more Revenge of the Sith than Clone Wars.
Yeah, so they retooled it to make it closer to, shall we say. I like it. It's a deep cut for Hasbro, so it's like it's unexpected in a way, because some of the details that make this guy a character clone over a grunt, you've got to really squint to see them on film, but they're there. It's cool. I'll buy it. It'll go on the shelf.
But it's still lazy.
Yeah.
I think for me as well, it's just one of those where it's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not the clone. Like, if you're going to do a clone repaint, I mean, just to argue the point, if you're going to do a clone repaint, take this chap that is so good, take this and repaint it as Commander Vaughn or Captain Vaughn or whatever his bloody name is. It's like, let's just do that.
I'll even take a Bad Batch version.
Next, it's just Cody in black and white, isn't it?
Yeah, we're still wanting though.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, well, you'd probably be able to after a bit.
80% of it is just Malibu Stacy with a different fucking hat anyway, so embrace it.
That's it. It's always going to happen. Repaint. There's several certainties in life, isn't there? There's
death taxes and toy repaints.
Exactly. But yeah, it's there. I think that Dan puts it best. Happy for those that care.
Happy for those that care.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it anyway, but
yeah. And the repacks, the retools, and the repaints continue. Although I think it's mostly new, which is fair to assess. I think. I think it's mostly new. It doesn't look
The
all
leg,
new.
the legs belong to Admiral Akbar. I'm not sure about the arms and the torso.
Oh, you're joking. Oh, yeah. They are, aren't they?
I don't know if the top parts are from the other Krennic. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that much.
I'd imagine they're going to be new because they've got the newly sculpted, like, decorative stuff on his
Is
uniform.
the ceremonial sash sculpted into the body, or is it added?
I think it's part of the belt, to be honest. So I think it could be an overlay.
Yeah, it's definitely a separate piece, isn't it? Or if it's not a separate piece, it's at least sculpted onto the tunic. It's not just painted on.
How are you guys feeling about the soft goods?
It depends on how they do it. It's a bit of a mixed bag at the minute with soft goods and Black Series, because on one hand I feel like Black Series are doing the best that they've ever done in terms of soft goods. Like when you look at Shin, Balin, the Acolyte stuff, like the soft goods is top tier quality. But then I think you've just gotten the Moff Gideon in Dark Trooper armor, haven't you, James?
This was what I was about to address.
Yeah, and that's
Cloaks
what makes
and clothes, yes. Capes, fuck no.
That's what makes me worry about this figure. I mean, I'm glad that it's soft goods to a degree, because I'm in that camp that I think all capes should be soft goods. But I don't know if this is the right way to do it. I mean, I've always said, and I feel like someone may have done a custom of it, but the best cape they've ever done, the best cape they've done, not necessarily Jedi robe or anything like that, but the best cape belonged to the First Order Snowtrooper from Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, it's good, that.
Yeah.
Proper, decent, high-end quality soft goods, and I feel like that would have been sort of like, maybe it would have been a little bit too thick, but something similar to that would have worked really, really well for Krennic. And like I said, I'm pretty sure I've seen someone do a custom of it at some point with that Snowtrooper cape onto a Krennic. With this one, I feel like it looks very thin, looks very papery, and it looks more along the lines of the one that comes with the Gideon Dark Trooper armor figure that doesn't look great. So I'm skeptical.
It's how they pack them. It's coming out looking like a sock. It's not going to look nice. The iron's going to have to come out. But my stance on it is Jedi robes and outfit pieces. So something like what May from the Acolyte, what she's got. Oh, it's like like Obi-Wan, Jedi Legend. So anything like that, anything like a full robe.
Anything
anything like a karma or a lower waist piece. Yeah, soft goods, no issue. When you've got a character like this, where a lot of that character and identity stems from the silhouette that they cast, like Moff Gideon, like Krennic, I think it needs to be plastic, because it's an absolute pain in the arse. It's going to be a pain in the arse to get his cape to sit. I know it's just a Black Series figure, right? But it's going to be a pain in the arse to get that look how it would on screen. Like, you've seen his cape; it sits very pinned to the shoulders, comes down very straight, but then it billows at the bottom. And I think you've just got a better chance of doing that in plastic than you have with soft goods, especially when it's one that's got details on it as well. There are, there is line work, there is certain elements to it. I might be I could be going too deep, but I'd just rather it be that way. That's just my opinion.
Harry's made a good point in the comments about the old Disney Store Elite series, the 10-12 inch Krennic that they did, which I'm actually looking at, weirdly enough, because I've got it in my cabinet. And the cape on that figure was actually really, really good. So why they couldn't do something along those lines? I just think it's just one of those. It's just like you said earlier, Dan, about like decide what you want to do when it comes to a line of figures. Like, decide what you want to do with soft goods. What are you going to use? Like, have a material set aside for capes, have a material set aside for kamers, and just you be consistent. There's no consistency, and that plays a big role in the quality of these figures, and this just isn't it for me. And it's one of the reasons why, I mean, I love Krennic. Favourite character in Rogue One. one of my favorite Disney era Star Wars characters, full stop. So to get finally a like the archive / photoreal update aside, like we finally got a brand new Krennic in Black Series, and it misses that mark, and it's really unfortunate. So this is one of those. This is my Commander Cody helmet that I'm keen to see it in person before I buy it, because I'm not sold from the images.
I want to love it because Andor's one of my favourite pieces of media.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that cape. It's really putting me off. And I also think the head sculpt should have made Krennic look a lot more smugger. Rather than looking like stern, just give him that cocky look that he has in Andor.
Yeah.
Because that's the point where he's at his most pretentious.
His most sassy.
His most sassy.
His most fruity, as Ben Mendelsohn said. He's a lot fruitier in this one, which he was. That finger point. Oh, God.
Yes.
Superb stuff. I mean, head sculpt wise, is this the one that they've used on the updated photoreal one? Is it just that head sculpt again, or is it a new one completely?
It looks to be a reuse of that one from
the
recent wave, unfortunately.
That's a shame. Like Dan says, there'd been an opportunity there to do something a little bit different with this one. But hey ho. Nez, what about you? You down for this one?
Probably not. I mean, I think it's one of those that if Star Action Figures shove it out for $8.99, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Because I think that'll be the same.
I think it's another one as well where it's like it's sort of set aside on his own. It's Krennic in his ceremonial outfit, but where are the other figures from that ceremony for the character to interact with? Yeah.
But the thing is, they've got the sculpts and they can do it. So do Lonnie.
Justice for Lonnie.
Justice for Lonnie.
I think I'm going to hold out for a dancing mum.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, that you put batteries in and she dances.
Christ. What a banger. What a tune.
Oh, yeah.
That's been on my Spotify playlist on repeat this week. Shower earlier, fucking going for it. Yeah. Oh, Christ. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I think that's one of the things. It's so scene specific, but there's nothing else from that scene in your Black Series collection to interact the figure with, and that's like I think Jesse said it on a couple of streams we've done where he said, the toys that get released from a piece of media enhance your enjoyment of that media. And I mean, I feel like Andor's done the opposite for me, because at first I wasn't really all that bothered about picking up Bix, Luthen, Dedra, an updated Cassian. I wasn't all that arsed. But after finishing season 2, and we'll get onto the Andor talk later, but after finishing season 2, I'm like, okay, now I want to go and pick up all these figures. Whereas before it was like, oh, now I've seen that film, or oh, now I've got these figures, I can enjoy this film a little bit more because I've got the toys to play with or to display that. And it's like, like I said, there's just nothing for this character to interact with based on the appearance that he's been depicted in. So it kind of takes away that enjoyment a little bit. That's my perspective on it anyway.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, happy that we're getting a brand new Krennic, but it's, I don't know. It's just there. I just feel like it's just there. It's not one of those figures that just blows me away, which is a shame.
It's kind of weird because they've announced that they're doing a reissue or retool of Krennic from Rogue One, and then they release this, and it's like,
that's thing, isn't it? I think, and I think everybody who probably bought or pre-ordered or whatever that re-release of Krennic from Rogue One that was just the updated head probably bought that thinking, well, this is the only update to Krennic we're going to get because Andor season 2 is out now. How different is he going to look? 2 weeks later, we get the reveal of this figure.
That's it. I would have much preferred some other Imperial officers.
Yeah, I
Just-
think, like you said, Partagaz would have been unreal to see.
Yularen.
Yep. Even Dedra, Trenchcoat Dedra.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have taken that.
Or some of the other ISB guys. I mean, I must admit, I am happy that we're getting this figure.
Oh, yes.
Especially after that season finale. Now, this is a repack, retool, repaint, reuse. But this is one of those examples where it makes sense to do it. The parts are already there. The parts were reused for the costume, so it makes sense to reuse the parts for the figure. And this looks bloody good. And I'm really excited for this one. And I might have to buy a couple. I just wish it came with an alternate head because I want the big bruiser with the stash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oi! Get your ass snail! This is the ISB! What a fucking guy. So, but I love it. I really love it. It's such a cool... I love the hybrid of the Stormtrooper armor meets Imperial Officer. I just think it's such a cool design.
Yeah.
I need multiples. I need loads. Again, if we got Deirdre in that outfit, Imperial Officer outfit, where it's a bit more formal or informal, depending on how you look at it, I would have preferred that way more, and it would have gone with these amazingly.
Let's do an ISB Tactical Trooper 2-pack featuring Human Shield.
Yes.
Because fuck me with that dark. I'll here for it though, because I hated it. I knew exactly what was going to happen as well before it even happened. I was like, he's getting used as a pincushion. But yeah, I think, are we all in? We all in on this one?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's a quality figure. I hope we get more variations of them as well, because they were all, like I said, they were all the different troopers using all the different weapons and different head sculpts and that sort of stuff. Like I said, Harry's made a good point in the comments about swapping out one of the Dark Times officer head sculpts on this one.
Yes.
And then we'll get our mustachioed figure.
It's the pilot. You know the one with the pilot helmet, which is like the bucket.
Yeah, it's almost like the fucking. It's like part of. Is it like a Scarif Trooper helmet or something?
It's the Scarif Trooper without the faceplate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have taken that as well.
Yeah, that would have been good. But yeah, retools and repacks and repaints seem to be the theme of May the 4th, unfortunately. So we got another troop builder reveal, one that I'm on the fence with because 50% of this I want, 50% of this I don't because I've got enough. But like you were talking about earlier, James, we're getting the the Death Trooper Specialist and a Scarif Trooper Armor Builder 2-pack, which I think these are innocent enough. Like, we don't need to pick these apart because they do what they say on the tin and they army build. So I don't feel like I've got a high horse to get on about repacks and retools and repaints and all that sort of stuff with this one because it is what it is. It's a trooper pack. I just wish that we'd got one of the unseen variants of the Scarif Trooper in the black series that we haven't had yet.
The only one that we don't have.
Yeah, just that different variation on the rank. That would have sold it for me. Because I want the Death Star... I keep calling it a Death Star Specialist. Death Trooper Specialist. I want that figure because I never got that Rogue One 3-pack. So I want that, but I don't want another bog basic Scarif Trooper.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a funny one, this, because it seems, I mean, I can't speak for every country in the world, but it really does seem like everywhere but the UK can get a Death Trooper Specialist for next to nothing, because places like America have got Ollie's and Ross, or wherever all these silly, really cheaply priced toys were, getting shoved last Christmas. But to actually get a specialist in the UK at the minute. There's only to buy that pack, and that pack still goes for close to what this will cost. So,
Yeah.
In this market, yeah, but because I've already got one, I spending 55 fucking quid on this. Not when that Scarif Trooper's not worth it either. Well, not to nitpick, but compared to the other one, there is a lot of detail missing from it. So
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I think would benefit packs like this, is that if they did sort of skimp and save on the paint apps and charged a little bit less than it would cost for 2 basic Black Series figures,
Yeah, definitely.
then it'd make these a little bit more appealing. But the fact
you've got to
that
get it back in another way. If they're not spending money on the paint, what are we getting instead?
exactly,
At the minute,
there's no real incentive there, is there, to buy it, like you said, when you can pick that original 3-pack up for a lot cheaper. Shore Troopers are a dime a dozen.
Some different weapons would have done it.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you could have had
since
the specialist. He has the long ranged. Even on the packaging, he's got the long range.
That's what I was going to say, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. There's just
daft.
I get the idea. I get the sentiment, but execution falls short a little bit for me. Nez, I saw you cracking your knuckles, mate. Have you got some thoughts to offer, or?
I thought about it, and then I think I'll just be polite and say I'll pass on
that. We always say that Hasbro timed these streams really well, Nez, when we get you on, because we always get underwhelming reveals when it's time for you to throw your thoughts in. Like, there's never anything like that. Well, mind you, because last time we had you on, we talked about Shizor, and that was up there. What did you think when you got that one in hand?
Oh, it's superb! It's really, really good.
Yeah,
and I absolutely adored Shadows of the Empire, and I did actually play that game because I read that book that Mark Cotter Vaz wrote about the secrets of Shadows of the Empire, and he said you need to listen to the soundtrack, read the book, read the comic, play the game. So I did actually play that on the M64 and completed it. It's probably the last game I ever played, but I loved everything about Shadows of the Empire, so I love that. And on the Hasbro stand at Celebration, I loved seeing the Luke in the red Imperial Guard thing and Dash Rendar. I can't wait.
good. I'm glad that one satisfies you needed at least, because bloody hell, I mean, I think that just about wraps it up for Black Series reveals, unless I'm missing something. I don't think I am. We'll throw it into TVC, and like I said, repacks, retools, repaints seem to be a running theme, and so we'll throw it to the two one new figure, one with a bit of mix and match, and then the rest is just pure bollocks. So we finally got the reveal of the new Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I'm very excited about to a degree, because I don't feel like there was a lot wrong with that Legacy Collection one they put out back in 2009. I still think by today's standards that's a figure that still holds up, but this is a figure that I want for my land speeder. So for that reason, I'm going to buy it. Where do you guys stand? Are you bothered? Are you not bothered? I know, James, you're not much of a TVC 3.75 inch man. Not unless it's Mandalorian or...
Yeah, it's Mando or Ahsoka for me, and a tiny bit of Rebels. You know how my daft old head works, so it doesn't fall into my bracket. And I think he looks a bit fucking tired, to be honest.
He has been hiding out in the desert.
Well, yeah, but one would argue that gives him ample time to catch up on some sleep. But it's not for me. So I'll let the people who are buying it judge it. In its entirety.
What about you, Dan?
Who came up with that pause for the? He never does that in the movie. The young Obi-Wan Kenobi does that.
He
ooh,
technically. Do. Go on, James, animation man. Get it.
Thank you. You do see the Alec Guinness, let's say, version of Obi-Wan Kenobi take on this pose at the beginning of his duel with Darth Maul in Star Wars Rebels.
But it's on a Star Wars card. It's not on a Rebels card.
Oh, but it's out of the box on the other picture, though. It might be out of the box when people buy it.
Listen, I'm very happy for those people who are just joining the the community and starting collecting. They're going to buy the Streets of Tatooine. They're going to buy the Cantina, and he'll look great stood in the Cantina. But we don't, us oldies don't need another 3.75 Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I must admit that does seem to be that seems to ring true with you a bit, Nez, doesn't it? That you don't seem to be all that. But I mean, you make the point, yeah, and I agree with it to a degree that you've been in the game long enough that you've got figures that, like I've just said, that Legacy Collection version that came out in 2009 with the table from Ben's house with the Leia hologram on it.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic figure. Still holds up in my opinion. So I'm glad that this is there, and I'll pick it up to suit a purpose that I have for it in my collection, but I don't feel like it's one of those figures that desperately needed upgrading. You'd have probably gotten away with repacking that Legacy Collection figure, to be honest, and just applying the photo reel to it. But I do also sit on the side of the fence that certain figures do often need definitive upgrades and updates and all that sort of stuff, but you don't really ever seem bothered about that. You seem to be on that side of the camp that's I'd rather have new figures and new characters than updated versions of characters we already have.
Yeah, I do. That's exactly where I am. But I do understand there are new collectors coming in who haven't got 75 Obi-Wan Kenobis like I have. So I'm happy for the people that are going to buy it. I probably won't, although I was just squinting looking at it, and I was wondering if I could use it to make a custom Klieg Laws.
Maybe. There's definitely parts there. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Then I'll take you an Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'll raise you a brand new and updated Stormtrooper. You could definitely use some parts for Klieg Laws from this one.
This is a better figure.
What we got? Oh yes, 100%.
Yes.
This is way better than that Stormtrooper.
Agreed. I absolutely agree. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, and TVC collectors are probably going to bite my arse off, but am I mistaken in saying that the only thing new about this Stormtrooper is the card? Because didn't they just re-release the Stormtrooper?
If I'm not mistaken, on the live stream, they said something about the blaster as well being.
What? It's not got the flashlight on it.
Yeah, it doesn't have the flashlight on it. No.
About fucking time.
No flashlight.
Again, it's great for army builders. I don't need another Stormtrooper.
Did it need another card?
And then I'll buy another one.
Like, what was the reasoning behind the new card? I don't get that.
Because they know all the sad sacks will buy it.
But if you're a TVC purist and you're a 3 3/4 inch till I die kind of person, like we never saw that Stormtrooper card, did we? So why?
No.
What's the appeal? I don't understand. Like, it's just an alternate card back with the exact same figure on it that we've seen numerous times before. Like, I don't get this. This is where I will put my Nez head on and I'll be like, it's just a new box. It's the same figure. I don't get it. I don't like, especially when it's been. I mean, it's not been what? Has it been 12 months since the last re-release of the Stormtrooper?
Probably not even that.
It's not been that long. I don't.
I think it's probably, you know, they're trying to populate this tattoo, you know, return to Tatooine thing, because there were some stormtroopers on Tatooine, not just sand troopers.
I would have liked the stormtrooper that bumped his head card back. I wouldn't have bought it. It would have just been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Give us something to talk about. I just couldn't care less.
No.
It's there. It's
Move
fine.
on.
I mean, yeah.
And that's a phrase. Move along. Move
Yeah,
along.
move along. I've got a Chinese coming at 9 o'clock.
Well, in that case, then, because I feel like if Nez, if you have to shoot off for your Chinese, I feel like the final reveal we can probably talk about and fly through. But I'm really keen, really keen to get your thoughts on this one, because I know about your retro versus vintage feelings and how you don't see the logic in, well, it's retro, but this is not, but this is vintage. And oh, fucking hell, mate, take the floor, pal, because Christ alive. I just,
What the fuck?
Yes.
I'm so glad it's not just me.
Well, I'm actually, for once, stuck for words. I just don't get it.
No, I don't. And you know
When-
why? And I'll just make my point, and then I'll let you open up. I'm an advocate for retro collection. I do quite like it. That may be an unpopular opinion. You know, be that as it may, I like retro collection. I think it's pretty cool line. I like it. I think this would have been a superb thing to release in the retro collection if these figures were retro collection style. If they were based on the original Kenner sculpts, by all means, get it out there and release it in the retro collection. Fantastic. Retro collection playset, awesome. Would have loved it. But the fact that it's in the vintage collection, which is supposed to be the definitive, you know, most screen accurate representations of all these characters, why have you repainted these super articulated, great detailed figures in Kenner colours? And I use that term very loosely because that Ponda Baba figure is an absolute monstrosity.
They all are.
I just don't understand the logic at all with this one. Especially when you've just done a retro collection box set that's got Walrus Man in it.
Yep.
Yeah. What is Greedo doing in that picture?
Playing air guitar by the looks of it.
He's jiving. He's getting he's dancing to some jizz.
It's looking a little bit McClunky.
Whatever he's doing and whatever Wally is doing, that blue snaggletooth has decided to just kill them both.
What this is, right, Nez? What this is Ponda's just said, I love this set, and Greedo said, I love it too, and Snaggletooth's just gone, fuck the pair of you.
Hammerhead's giving the shady side eye because they've specifically painted his eyes to look like that.
Oh, it's so annoying.
It's just poo.
It's just what it is.
I'm all for getting like that cardboard cantina. Oh, get that back out there. Yeah, love that. But like I said,
burn
why
it with
not?
fire.
Yeah, it's such an eyesore, and it's so just. This goes beyond lazy repaint for me. This goes beyond nonsensical repaint because it's just like you're doing. You've got an entire line dedicated to Kenner style figures. Why have you brought this to life in the wrong fucking line?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense at all.
Did they invite Patrick back for a fucking round of drinks or something?
It burns my eyes, man. It hurts my head.
It's beyond repaint. It's like drug-induced fucking nonsense. It's like,
yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I just don't get it because, like, why release the super articulated versions of these characters with the cardboard canteen? Because what I see when I think of that, when I look at this set, is I think, you know, Vintage Collection's getting the HasLab Cantina. What's the retro collection got? Oh, I know, we can redo the cardboard cantina from the original Kenner line. Fab idea. So you've got the vintage collection collectors that are happy because they've got their HasLab cantina, and you've got the retro collectors that are happy because they've got a re-release of the cardboard one. But let's just muddy the waters a little bit and throw vintage collection figures in with this set, repainted in retro colours, because that makes so much sense. It genuinely hurts my head to think about the conversation that was had when this was done, when this was conjured up.
Exactly,
what gets
mate.
me, Steve?
Not only has somebody said, "Let's do this. Let's reissue the cardboard cantina, the Sears exclusive, with these vintage figures painted to look like old Kenner stroke Palatoy figures," but some fucker else has gone, "Great idea." I mean, one person thinking it's great, but then the rest of the team agreeing. What is going on at Hasbro?
It's like I said, it's just that muddying of the waters. It's just like blending those two lines unnecessarily when you've got two lines dedicated to premium detail, superb articulation, and then Kenner style stuff. Why blur the lines? Why cross them over? There's no need at this point. Like, if you'd have done this in 2004, I could have maybe said, all right, yeah, that makes sense because it's a nice little tribute. But now that you've got those two lines side by side, that one is for detail, one is for articulation, and one is for pure nostalgia, why not just dedicate this set to one of those lines?
Why didn't they just go the whole fucking hog and put one Black Series figure in there as well?
That Greedo that didn't sell, just whab it in there. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the most nonsensical piece of dog shit I've ever seen. I'm sorry, I hate to do it. I really do. I don't like to get on my high horse. I feel like this is my. I'm just throwing back to that stream we did where we talked about the HasLab Cantina and the beautiful and glorious rant that was James's absolute unraveling at that set. That was mwah.
Well, I have a little comment to add, if you will. I couldn't give a fuck about this. Let's not cross any fucking streams. But it's clearly marketed to be part of the Return to Tatooine campaign because that big poster that they've been slowly adding stuff to, it's on the top of it.
But it doesn't tie into it at all.
Regardless of any of that, or what it looks like, what the content is, that whole concept of it's on that Return to Tatooine plan. If people have just spent 500 fucking quid on a HasLab cantina that's got all the bells and whistles and is actually made of fucking plastic, why the fuck are they going to put this on a shelf next to it? In the state that it is. I know which one I'd be displaying if I'd bought both.
It's vintage.
Take the picture down because I'm getting really depressed.
What, you mean that ain't making you feel better, Nez? Fuck. New cards, mate. New packaging. You love it.
And they even turned Hammerhead's head to the side because that's how he was in the packaging in vintage.
Do you know what furthers my frustration with this? Oh, look at that. So you could have put the vintage collection Hammerhead on a basic card. You didn't have to deluxe it after all. How's about that? I don't know. It just winds me up, mate. It really does. I mean, like Nigel's just put in the comments, if that had been full on retro, it would have sold far more. 100% agree. Yeah. This is what I don't understand. It should have either been retro or nothing. There's no reason to release this as part of vintage collection. It doesn't make sense. And it irritates me. It burns my life for a sunrise I'll never see. It's what it does. But swiftly moving on so that Nez can get to his Chinese meal, his succulent Chinese meal. One one last vintage collection reveal. I'm play devil's advocate again. Packaging. I love how this looks on the card. I love how this looks as a set. This is nice.
Mhm.
But
Who chooses those poses?
Not to mention the backpack on the Sand Trooper.
it's they're all at a jive with Mommy Mon. They're all like,
What the hell?
I've picked the worst picture for that. I should have just picked the static poses, shouldn't I?
I think you should have picked the one of the Sand Trooper backpack.
Oh, fuck off, James.
The fucking idiots put it on the wrong way.
Oh my god! And they didn't just do it in one picture; they did it in all of them. And no one said, "Hang on, mate, just flip that round." I bet the same. What's fucking annoying is the same person probably took the same photos of the Black Series Sand Trooper.
Yeah, now
they probably turned around and said the Black Series one's upside down.
The clues are all coming together here. The same person that put that on upside down, the blind person, was the same person who came up with that fucking canteen.
Pretty fair, pretty accurate assumption. That, to be fair,
I knew where that was going.
I mean, let's just dive into it a little bit deeper for a second. We've got a Scout Trooper, fab. We've got a new Sand Trooper, which does tie into the Return to Tatooine theme, and I think it was shown on the Land Speeder box. So yeah, to a degree, does make sense to get another one out there. Fine with that. And then we've also got the Snow Trooper Commander, which is an update over the Black Series 3 3/4 inch figure, I think.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I said, as a box set, this makes all the sense in the world. I love the concept, and I love it as a collectible piece. Like as 3 troopers on this really nice looking card, I think it looks great, and I really do like this. I think arguably this is my favourite reveal of the May the 4th stuff we got, other than the Cody helmet, obviously.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, it looks good.
It plays with me OCD that they're not in the correct order, chronological order. It should be Sand Trooper.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Trooper.
Thank you.
Very good shout. Oh, I don't know if I want it carded anymore. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I'm definitely on Spectrum. There we go. No, I don't think I can do it now. I think legit. I'm not even doing it for irony. I'm being genuine. I don't think I can pick it up as a card because I was like, oh yeah, I love these special action figure sets. I really like them, and I'm going to get this one to keep it in card. Going to get it in a nice acrylic case, and now I don't think I can do it. You've just put me off.
They may correct it when they actually release it, but
Possibly.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Maybe they'll put the Sand Trooper backpack on the right way as well in post.
They'll probably put Grego in the middle or something.
That would require them to have some level of competence, and as we've seen, no.
Bloody hellfire. Well, do you know what? It's been a while, but that's the first time in a while that we've had very, very, very underwhelming reveals from a Hasbro stream, and I'm really hoping that things pick up.
Have you noticed it seems to be every May 4th? It's the most, of all the times. I think last year was a bit of a shit show. Like, I'm not knocking the good stuff that they reveal and put out, but they do it like a fortnight before May 4th.
Yeah.
I just feel like you should be celebrating Star Wars Day, and you should be doing it in the best possible way. You should be really getting everybody excited about it, and that just imagine if that was your introduction to Star Wars collecting. Like, okay, I enjoy the movies. I think I'm going to start buying the toys. Oh, the company that puts the toys out are doing a live stream where they're offering up their latest products. Let's have a look what they've got. What the fuck is that cardboard cantina all about? Is that the best? Is that?
Does it come with the cereal?
Yeah, like So it's a box. It's a box in a box.
From a nostalgic point of view, you know, I like the cardboard stuff because it.
I do.
But yeah, let's not talk about that.
It's just
I was going to say, in terms of nostalgia, you look at them Revenge of the Sith Black Series figures. Where's Anakin and Obi-Wan on that card? I know we've said it before, but it's just the same stuff that makes no sense encompassed in that live stream.
When they take the product pictures, I'm convinced that they've got a guy trapped in a cupboard and they're just forcing him against his own will to take pictures of them and edit them, because all the Black Series ones that are repacks from the last 10 years have got the pins photoshopped out now, which is a fucking scumbag move for a start. But on one of the Ayla Secura ones, he's only managed to Photoshop the pins out on one leg, so I think he's just trying to get a message across, like, can someone fucking rescue me?
It's Galen Urso. I have got a flaw so deep in this Black Series figure that they'll never find it. Honestly, just like sort it out. Like it's so frustrating because they've been on such a good run as of late in both scales. You know, not just in Black Series, because I know we say that Black Series are just putting out banger after banger after banger, but TVC's doing a phenomenal job as well, and it's just so disappointing to see that slope go, okay, so good. Oh fuck, it's gone again. And it sucks the life out of you, man. It really does.
On the day of all days as well, for May the 4th. That's just
all days.
I'm really sorry, guys. I don't have a lot of time. But
No,
I would like to, if you're ready, to just talk about Andor.
Absolutely, I was just about to bring that up myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go for it.
So if I can kick off, because I will have to go because this delivery's coming.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
I was lucky enough to have a ticket for the Andor panel at Celebration Japan. Really, really, really good panel. And then at the end, because I had said to Sue, these panels were about an hour, I'll meet you at such a place later on. And then at the end of the panel, they said, we're going to show you episode 1. So I got to see episode 1 on a massive big screen with thousands of other Star Wars fans.
Oh, amazing.
And I wasn't a fan of season 1. I thought it was painfully slow. There were episodes that literally there was no character development or nothing moving the story forward. And some of the storylines, like one way out, oh, I can't swim, was just pointless. But when I saw that first episode, I thought, this is amazing. This is really good. This is a leap from what season 1 was. And then I thought, well, maybe it's because, you know, of the atmosphere, it's Celebration. I'm in a big, you know, whatever you want to call it, theatre arena with, you know, thousands of other Star Wars fans. But when I watched it again, when I got home, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. And when you... this is the poster from the panel that we gave out at the end.
Oh, a jammy sword.
That's
so good.
That were given out at the end. And overnight almost, and there are a couple of slow episodes in season 2, but overnight I've really, you know, come to love Andor. I thought season 2 was just incredible. And you know, now I've got there's my and I've got like Dedra on there and
Melshi,
Doctor, whatever he's called, same guy that played Harry Potter's dad, and obviously the two, and then unfortunately it's not on the same poster, but there's Diego.
Oh, man.
I'm so jealous. Wow.
I just thought it got better and better, and I'm sure you guys are going to wax lyrical about it, but episodes 8 and 9 were just incredible.
Yeah.
I think season 2. I mean, I did love season 1. I will say that on first viewing, and I feel like season 2's had the benefit of. I feel like they found the tread with it, and I think releasing them in 3-episode blocks really helped this time around.
Definitely.
Doing one episode a week with season 1 did make it at times feel like a slog.
Yeah.
Especially on first viewing, I must admit, as much as I love it now, first time viewing, after going back and watching it, love it. But first time viewing, I was like, fucking hell, is this going to pick up anytime soon? Like, this is, I like it, but it's a bit slow for me.
I was like that with the first 3 episodes.
I'm
not sure what I'm digging it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
where we're going, and I
think it were a struggle. Like I said, watching those season 1 episodes back to back, everything flows a lot better. The slow pace picks up because you've got them one after the other. With season 2, the only bit where I thought, come on now, is when Cassian is with the 2 rival groups in the woods and they're playing the rock paper scissors thing. Like, that was the only bit where I was like, can we just get past this and get to the. But in terms of everything else, I mean, Mon Mothma's arc has been she's been the MVP of that series for me. Absolutely unreal character. I mean, you talk about character development. Christ on a bike, taking that glup shitter from End of Return of the Jedi, like the way that they have the way that they have molded her character, and I don't think I've ever been more invested in a character, to be honest with you. Just seeing her struggle and seeing her internal torment has just been unbelievable. And credit to Genevieve O'Reilly, who's absolutely smashed that role. If she does not win any awards for that, then there is something seriously wrong in Hollywood. Because
they don't like Star Wars, do they, in Hollywood? It won't get any awards, I don't think.
It needs to, though, because bloody hell, it's just been incredible. It really has. And I mean, there were points. I mean, I were in actual tears at certain points in this series, like the Gorman massacre and the message of when they were calling for help. Won't anybody help us? And just. I know a lot of people say Star Wars is supposed to be escapism and it's supposed to take your mind away from what's going on in the real world, and I agree to that to a degree. But just how raw and real Andor season 2 was, it crumbled me. Really,
it was definitely very emotional. Very emotional. Can I just ask before I shoot off?
Yeah.
Did any of you do that thing where you watched episode 9? And then watched Rebels season 3, episode 18.
Yeah,
and I didn't do that, but I did watch episode 12 and then watch Rogue One, and it's I love it. I think Andor has done for Rogue One what Rogue One did for A New Hope, and just how seamlessly it rolls in. It's just an unbelievable bit of media.
Off the back of that, in terms of watching that episode to the Rebels episode, yeah, and it's weird how an adult TV series like that can do it, and it still fit into a kids show, of which I thought was just wonderful. It's really difficult to do something like that and make it work.
Yeah. I thought it was genius.
Yeah.
They seem to have a special talent for like refusing to acknowledge a lot of what exists elsewhere during that time period, whilst also acknowledging it in the most subtle and respectable way possible. I've never seen it done in any other way, and it's so satisfying.
It's almost, I don't like comparing, but it's almost like what Marvel should be doing.
Yeah,
because it's Star Wars has the world building there, and it acknowledges it completely. Something in Infinity War happens where there's a snap, and next few episodes, sorry Ahsoka, we've forgotten about it. So I appreciate Star Wars for actually encompassing and acknowledging media, but being respectful to it, and also acknowledging that it is for kids, but also keeping it in there. I don't know. From
binding the galaxy together.
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
I do have to say though, that scene where Draven says, "Oh, Gold Squadron are going to deliver the Senator." I had to be the guy that just sat there thinking, would it really have been that difficult to say Phoenix Squadron? I know it was both, but I'm just.
Let it go, mate.
Incognito. You've got to keep the details locked tight.
Yeah.
No,
quality.
Really good. No, right, Nez. I know you've got to shoot off, mate. So I feel like that's a pretty good point to leave it on in general. To be honest, I think we'll wrap the whole thing up because we are just.
Yeah, I was going to say Andor deserves more time than what we're about to give to it. So if we could do a full stream on it at some point.
Yeah,
because I think we've been discussing that for probably the last year, really, and I think there's no better time.
Yeah,
so many thoughts on Cyril Khan.
Could I just say thanks again for having me?
Yeah.
I hope I haven't depressed everybody. With
no, mate.
Absolutely.
That's usually James's job. He's usually the cynic of the group.
Please ask me back on again when they release Cleeg Laws.
Oh, mate, you'll be
absolutely
the first. As soon as that figure comes out, you will be the first one we call. No doubt about it.
Live review and unboxing. Absolutely.
100%.
Come on, let's do it.
No, it's been a pleasure to have you, mate, and thank you again for everything that you do with the Star Wars Fan Fun Day and that event. Like, we all, like I said, we said at the start, we all had an amazing time that weekend, and it was just fantastic, and we can't wait to be there again next year. Hopefully in a slightly bigger capacity if plans go to plan. But yeah,
please try and get Vanessa Marshall back one time, please.
Well, I did speak to her in Japan, and the problem with Vanessa is she does so many other things, non-Star Wars stuff, that she's busy and she works, and obviously she can do what she's done twice to us now and said, yes, I will come. But if she gets work,
that
is the contractual obligation. Yeah, it's understandable, mate. It's understandable. But yeah, looking forward to next year. Thanks for a good one the other week, honestly.
Thanks for all you can.
Oh, and I'm very much enjoying your short form content as well. I follow your page and I just like, let's take a look. It's become iconic in its own right.
Absolutely. So I can't wait. I can't wait for that Cleeg Laws figure to come out, actually, because the excitement in your voice is through the roof. Let's take a fucking look at Cleeg Laws because he's here. Unreal, mate. No, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us. It's been a blast, mate, and we'll always have you on. Always have you on again. Right. In the meantime, that's going to do it. We'll let you all get to your evenings, and thank you for joining us all, and we will see you all on the next one, whenever that may be. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Keep collecting. May the Force be with you.
Bye-bye.